Everybody wants to know where you're going to, what you're running from, what you're going through, where you're coming from, what you're going through, where you're coming from. Everybody wants to know what you're gonna do, where you're going to, cause they wanna come where I'm showing you. Yes, they wanna come where I'm showing you. All that you can be is a spectacle, following after every single miracle. Watch them marvel at.
Big shout out to you all, man. Welcome to the front stoop. This is your boy Sim here, and what you was listening to right there was that was Lauryn Hill from the Queen and Slim soundtrack. It's called Guarding the Gates, and I'm gonna tell you what, that joint is pretty dope, man. And it's really, really nice to hear Lauryn Hill back on the scene. You don't hear much from Lauryn Hill. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear much from Lauryn Hill. So to hear Lauryn Hill and the soundtrack of Queen and Slim, man, it played at the end of the movie, and I was like, yo, that's Lauryn Hill. It really made me want to hear Lauryn Hill drop something soon, because that joint is pretty dope, man. And you know, just to get a little bit of listen, you know, a little bit more. I mean, she sounds great.
Cause I'm in love.
I got my man Isaiah here in the chat.
I know you do.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you, there's no better voice than to hear than Lauryn Hill, ladies and gentlemen. She just has a beautiful voice. You know what I mean, she sounds as good as ever in this joint right here. Again, that's Lauryn Hill. Song is called Guarding the Gates from the Queen and Slim soundtrack. We're going to talk about Queen and Slim a little bit today, and all that it represents, man, because it's a really, really good movie. If you haven't had a chance to go out and see it, then you might not want to listen to this podcast right now. You feel me? Because we're going to talk a lot about the movie. You know what I'm saying? I got my man Isaiah here in the chat. He also saw the movie, and whoever else is going to join in, I hope you join in. If you haven't seen the movie, you can talk with us about it. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm saying, then, you know, you can still talk about it. And Guillermo, yes, this is live. I don't know if it's a random time. You know what I'm saying? I actually had the show out for a while. It's been advertised for a little bit. You know what I mean? I guess maybe you didn't get the notification. I don't know. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? We're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about this. Let me get to my man Isaiah. And we're going to talk a little bit about this movie, man. And you know, we have a good time talking about it, because the movie was good. The movie was real good. All right, so I got my man Isaiah here with me. Maybe Guillermo will join us. Maybe we'll get a few other people joining us. Isaiah, what's poppin' with you, brother? How you feeling?
Hey, what's going on? So I'm feeling good, man. Powerful movie, man. Just really powerful. I'll be real with you, man. When I heard this soundtrack for the first time, I was like, this soundtrack. I went to go see the movie twice.
Okay.
Man, when I tell you though, Sim, if this movie, if the soundtrack alone doesn't win an Oscar, that was the best soundtrack I heard all year, man. I've seen a few movies. That was the best soundtrack I heard all year, man.
Soundtrack was dope, man. On the soundtrack, I mean, there's a lot of people on the soundtrack. You know what I mean? You got Ride or Die with Megan Thee Stallion, Soul Sister, that's Bilal, Raphael Sadiq, Yo Love, Vince Staples, Six Black, Mariba. You got Collide. That's got Tiana, Major 9, Earth Gang, Getting Late, Sid Still Tripping, Mike Jones, Slim Thug, Paul Wall. I mean, it's dope. Of course, you got Guarding the Gates from Lauryn Hill, Searching from Roy Ayers. So the soundtrack, like the movie, the soundtrack kind of takes you across different time periods. You know what I'm saying? Although, let me not say that the movie takes you across different time periods, but it touches on different ages within the plethora of black people that's in America. Which, if you look at the ages of all people, is going to take you from different time periods So different scenes kind of touch on different time periods every once in a while within the movie, and the soundtrack kind of takes you on that ride. You know what I mean? So it's a pretty dope soundtrack. A little something for everybody in there when you talk about the Black experience in America. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what the movie is. So yeah, Isaiah, the soundtrack is definitely dope, man. Definitely dope.
Yeah, one of the best ones I heard this year. Besides watching Joker, son, this is probably the best movie I've seen all year. Like I was talking to you earlier, man. To have two black, dark skinned people as the lead roles, that's good. That's powerful right there. And then just like the movie is just, if you think it's a typical Bonnie and Clyde movie, it's really not. It's really not, because a lot of even before I seen the previews, I was like, oh, this is just a black version of Bonnie and Clyde. Man, I was wrong, son. This thing has so many messages, so many, meanings, and so many like just inspiration of just what it's just so much stuff about being black in America, man. It's so. It's hard to really, and it's not hard to explain, but it's so much. There's so much things you could go from it. You know what I'm saying? You could pull different things out of it. Like I was saying earlier, you've seen so many different views of how people view things through different ages of black people. I mean, you had a young kid, you had a middle-aged kid, you had a preteen, you had a guy in his 20s, you got an older OG, you got an older dude that's in his late 40s or 50s. We're just seeing different levels of how people think. And how they reacted to what happened during the movie is just so unique, and it's all put into one. Again, this is just a great movie.
So let's start off like this. For those who have not seen the movie, and hopefully I don't ruin anything for you, but basically here's the plot of the movie. All right, a young man and a young woman, obviously Queen and Slim. They meet for dinner because it was a Tinder date. All right, so right from the beginning of the movie, you kind of see the yin and yang of these two. Right, they meet, they kind of argue with each other, they're kind of witty with each other, but you can tell that there's some kind of an attraction for each other, right? Because an overall arching theme of this movie is also love. All right, so it touches on all of it. They're eating. They decide, they're going to leave. I think he's giving her a ride home or whatever it is. And on the way home, a cop pulls him over. Okay, white cop pulls him over. Asks him to step out the car. Right? He searches the car. He searches him. Now, she's a lawyer. All right? She steps out the car. She's like, what did he do? Well, this is illegal. You're searching him illegally. All that kind of stuff. The cop gets upset, pulls out a gun. Right? Well, actually, before he pulls out a gun, he's checking the guy's trunk because he asked him, he asked Slim, can I check your trunk? Slim was like, go ahead. Slim is kind of like trying to just get this passed. Right? She's kind of, she's a lawyer. So she's kind of like, hey, what's all this about? This is illegal. Why are you doing this? So he asked him, he says, hey, do you think we can hurry up? Because it's cold outside. Cop gets upset, pulls out a gun, points a gun in his face. Right? So he's like, okay, really, you doing this right now? What's going on? She steps out the car. She starts saying, boom, 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 what's your badge number and all that kind of stuff. The cop, long story short, ends up shooting her, shoots her in the leg. The dude, Slim, he gets upset, knocks over the cop, starts tussling with the cop. The gun is on the ground. Right? The cop is on top of Slim. Slim is able to get the cop off of him, picks up the gun, points it at the cop. Right? Next thing you know, boom, gun goes off. They shoot the cop is dead. So now they're looking at each other like, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this situation? She's like, we got to get out of here. Let's go. Right? He's like, what? You serious? She's like, yeah. So they jump in the car. They roll. They decide that they're going to go to New Orleans, right, Isaiah? New Orleans?
But it's New Orleans.
New Orleans. They decide they're going to go to New Orleans. They hit on the road to go to New Orleans. They run out of gas. They're in Kentucky, I think it is. Now, the movie is it starts in Ohio. They're kind of at the bottom of Ohio. What are they in? Cleveland. They're in Cleveland, right?
Yeah, they're around that area. Whatever's close to Kentucky, that's where they're from.
But I think they're in Cleveland. They travel to Kentucky. They run out of gas. A guy, they flag down somebody to help them out. See if they can get some gas or whatever it is. The guy that they flag down is a police officer for Kentucky. Right? They take him to the police officer takes him to the gas station. The police officer finds out, he hears it over the radio, whatever it is that they wanted. They did this, they did that, or at least he has a good idea that it's them. Long story short, when he comes out, they hijack him, they take his truck, they put the police officer, they go back to the car, put the police officer in the trunk of the car. They take off so they can go to New Orleans. They end up in New Orleans, right? And now you're starting to really get into it. They go to New Orleans. It's all over the news nationwide that these two on the run for shooting the cop.
Can I say this though,
It's on the video. Yeah, go ahead.
It was a pivotal moment was before they went to Kentucky. They stopped after they shot the cop. He just drove for a while. They stopped. He was like, "Yo, I don't want to do this." He's like, "I'm not a criminal." And she was like, "Yes, you are. You're a black man that just shot a white cop. What you think is gonna happen?"
That's right.
And then it was crazy because he was like, "Man, I just want to go home to my family." She's like, "You can't do that. That's done. You can go home to your family." And it was like, and at that moment they had to decide what they wanted to do, because he was more leaning towards turning himself in, but they was gonna shoot that man.
Mm-hmm.
So as they made that pivotal decision together, there's like, we gotta go, we gotta leave. And that was like a really key early moment in the movie. It was like, man, listen, this movie's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it was. You're right. You're right. It was. They end up in New Orleans. They go to her uncle's house. That's why they went to New Orleans. He owes her a favor. They get there. Now, her uncle is a pimp. Right? He's got, a bunch of hoes around him. They kind of treat him like a king. But I'm going to tell you one thing that was really, I mean, it's funny. That's funny. But I'm going to tell you what was something that was striking in that part of the movie, right? Because Queen, she ended up, they ended up staying there. And she was talking to, one of the, her uncle was like, "Hey, you guys got to cut your hair. You guys are on the run. You got to cut your hair, blah, blah, blah." Right? And she's talking to one of the girls that's doing her hair. And she's like, she's asking the girl, she's like, you really love him. You really, treat him like he's a king in this household. And one of the things that really struck me though, because it's real. She was like, "Well, he ain't shit out there, but we could treat him like a queen in here, like a king in here." You know what I'm saying? And that kind of really put some things in perspective, even for Queen.
Hey, so you want to hear a side note, which and it's not a big deal, but I respect the black actor for because that was a transgender, right?
Who?
That Puerto Rican one.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. The one that was doing the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could kind of tell that. Yeah.
It's funny as heck.
But from there, the cops find out that they're there. So they hurry up. They get up out of there because the cop came. He seen the truck in the yard. He's like, "I'm gonna come back with a warrant." Her uncle's like, "Okay, y'all got to get out of there." They roll out. They're headed to Florida because her uncle had somebody that could get them to Cuba. That's their plan now, to go to Cuba. So they're on the way. Now, on the way, this is where they start to kind of get into the Black American experience. The one area that they didn't get to too much, I guess when they were in New Orleans, maybe they touched on the Black urban experience a little bit, right? But But on the way to Florida, that's when they started. So you got the black urban experience, a taste of it. And then you start to get a taste of country experience, a down home South experience, of Black America, and they trekked to Florida. I don't know if we want to give out the ending and stuff like that. But on the way to Florida, there's different moments where they run from the cops, but they recognize their influence across the country as everyone's reading about them and seeing them on national TV, that there were two dark black people shot a cop because the video was out on social media, and now they're on the run, and Black America is supporting them. So in different towns that they stop in, like there's a scene where they stop at a little juke joint somewhere in the country, down south of the country, and they decide that they're gonna go in and they're going to have a drink. This is kind of where they fall in love, right? And the bartender, the dude Slim, he goes to get Queen a drink, and the bartender gives him the drink for free. He don't have to pay for it. She's like, "Don't worry about it. You're safe in here." You know what I'm saying? That's when he started to realize that, okay, something's going on. These people, they're not going to turn me in. We got some support from somewhere. And then they start dancing, and then she gets a look from someone that's like, she kind of, the other lady kind of nods her head. They know that they're safe there, but they still know they got to get on the road. Right? Then.
Hey, Slim, can I break that down real quick?
Go ahead, break it down for me.
You know what's so powerful about that scene, son, is that, you know what, in real life, that's how I think it really would go down. You know what I'm saying? Especially, down south. Like down south, like people got to understand a lot of that stuff that's going on, man, that stuff's still going down.
Mm-hmm.
It don't mean because it's in the 21st century that stuff not going down, man. You talking about, if you go deep down into Louisiana, Alabama, all these deep southern states, man, that stuff is still real out there. So, listen, my father, he grew up in the South. Like I'm talking about, he grew up in the South. You know what I'm saying, son? He grew up in South Carolina in like the 50s and the 60s and stuff like that. So like, he's seen it all. So, when it comes to that, man, it's like we got each other back. I mean, how many times has a I hate to bring this down because I know this is not what you about, but it's like, how many times has a white cop killed a black person? And we gotta just take it. We gotta just that it is what it is. So it's like, when the roles are reversed, it's just like, what, we got us. We got you. We got you. You good. You safe. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I just thought that was so powerful when they was in the bar and everybody had their back and they were safe. And that, you don't gotta worry about no cops. You don't gotta worry about no one looking for you over here. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be good. And it was just like a reflection of just like, we still got people that got our backs. We're still a race of people that, I know it looks crazy on TV, but sometimes we always got our backs if there's a common goal for us that we can have,
Mm-hmm. But then on the flip side of that, because everything you said is right, and it felt good. It felt good that they had their back, even though, because when they murdered the cop, when they shot the cop, it was out of self-defense. It was clearly out of self-defense. All right, the cop started doing whatever, shot the girl. It was out of self-defense. But still, they recognized that because he was black, he was going to go down as murdering a cop, no matter what it was. He was going down for that. So he was on the run. He was on the road. But then on the flip side of what you just said, when they got into the town, because once they left the truck with the uncle, they took his car. They're trucking to Florida. They kept some small little town, wherever they are. The car breaks down. And they have to, they got to get it fixed. And they're wondering why, like, the dude, the mechanic, is like charging them like $2,000 to fix a water pump or something else. And they're like, yo, I don't even got that. And, they're like, he's like, I'll have it to you tomorrow. They're like, no, we got to get out of here tonight. We got to roll. You know what I mean? So he says, okay, I can get it done tonight, but I'm going to charge you $2,500. So he was juicing them because he knew who they were. He knew they was on the run. There was not much they could do about it. So he was juicing them for the money. They were standing there kind of getting on his nerves. So he was like, yo, he told his son, he said, hey, take them somewhere, take them for a walk. Kind of used his son as collateral. That was kind of weird to me. Knowing that these two people was on a run from the law, he kind of used his son as collateral to show them that I'm not going to take your car, you can take my son. So they went walking with the son.
Sam, wait, hold on, Sam. You know what you just said, though?
Hold up, though. And the son really looked up to them because they represented a lot of what Isaiah was saying earlier. You know what I'm saying? They represented the black man getting their justice. If you're not going to get justice by the way of the law, then you take justice into your own hands. That's kind of what they represented in this movie. You know what I'm saying?
You watch the movie, Gamble?
I messed up by watching clips and stuff like that. I'm gonna watch it, but I kind of I stupid and I skipped and so I totally disagree with this movie. I think.
Well, hold on. Let me finish it.
My bad. I didn't mean to cut you. I'm sorry, Sim. My bad.
Let me finish it. And then, so he looked up to them. But then it hurt. It got tough because in that town they were having a rally, and because he looked up to them so much, and he wanted his name to be known in history for something that he did revolutionary. He ends up shooting a cop purposely.
A black cop, too.
A black cop, purposely. And so his life is gone. Not solely because of them two, but because of their influence. So then that's, that starts to bring some of the dichotomy into this movie. You know what I mean? Long story short, they stay on the run and, they start trying to make their way to Cuba. And, I don't know if I want to give away the end of the movie or not, but they don't make it to Cuba.
You think?
All right. There's a lot to unravel. You know what I mean? But go ahead, Guillermo. What you were going to say.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just think a lot of the stuff in the movie was BS, man. Like the part where when he he fought back against the cop, like, in a car, they use these stereotypes of black people where it's like every black person that gets stopped by a cop, we get into this mode where it's, it's just that part was just extremely unrealistic. And then, like, I'm not going to consider myself a film buff, but I watch so many damn stupid movies. And, it takes parts from, she basically took, not Bonnie and Clyde, but like, what's the other one? What's the other one with the two people on the run? Damn it, the two ladies, I can't remember the damn movie. She took from that and then she combined it with another.
Two white ladies. I know you're talking about the two white ladies you're talking about.
Yeah, I see the stupid Susan Sarandon and
Thelma Louise.
Damn, I can't remember what the hell's wrong with my brain. But anyway, yeah, she took that and then she took another piece. There's I'm not sure if it was a whole film or a short film that was done with James Earl Jones and Maya Angelou, where I think, James Earl Jones come back from hard days of work, he's depressed or stuff, and then she talks about treating him like a king at home, or like basically standing with it, and like because he's basically treated like crap out the side of the world. So, and a lot of directors and stuff take things from other people. So I'm not just saying that was a thing, but it's just I think a lot of stuff she took, and then when she had the interview on the CBS morning show, it was there's not much nuance to the film. It's a very kind of liberal, not in a political sense, but liberal in like, how people think, stereotypical stylized idea of, black people, we're getting oppressed by the cops. And when you look at like the things that afflict black people, and I'm not a cop apologist, but I don't like cops who are corrupt or anything like that. I'm not one of these people. When you look at it like that, it's like, that's not one of our main, like, I just don't like the representation it kind of puts out there in a way. A nuanced movie to me, and I think that black people, so-called black people, whatever we want to call
what's the representation that you think it puts out
we're
there?
more intelligent than what some of these stereotypical movies are. Because I saw that. I don't know if you saw the other movie, The movie with the gay black dude, like all three phases of his life. Moonlight.
Oh, Moonlight.
Moonlight.
And it's
right.
just it's this stuff where it's like there's no nuance to it. But then, movies that don't get enough respect are movies like Fresh, right? It had Samuel Jackson as the guy's father, who was a crackhead who used to get wisdom from playing chess with his father, who wasn't at home, absentee father. He worked his way to basically set up a drug dealer or something like that who's abusing his sister, and like it's stuff like that. I mean, it's fiction, but it's like I watched the movie, and I watched clips and I read the synopsis. I kind of messed up for myself, and I'm just like, and I know who the director is. She's one of these people who think she's a guy. And it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of liberal.
But you know what? Let me say this though. Because you say that about about that, those type of things not happening. But check this out. This was at my own house.
No, Sim. I never said it doesn't happen. It does happen. I did not say that.
I didn't say that the wrong. I said that the wrong way, right? Okay. About it not happening. I said that the wrong way. But it happens way more than you probably look.
No.
But listen. At my own house, okay? Mm-hmm. This was maybe a year and a half ago, or maybe 2 years ago. My own house. I own this house. I've been living in this house since 2006. All right? I'm in my house. I'm doing work. I don't know. I went out to my studio. I opened the door for whatever reason. Maybe I didn't close the door all the way. All right? And my dogs, they start, they went outside, they came back in. I'm sitting in my living room, I'm doing some work. I hear my dogs run out the living room and they run into the studio. And I'm like, what's going on? All right. And I hear them barking. I'm like, oh, damn, I got my equipment out there. Let me see what's happening out there. Right? For someone tries to run up in my house. I peek my head out the door. I see a cop standing there. Okay, what's going down now? My dogs are barking at the cop. 2 of them, 2 pit bulls. Barking at the cops. They clearly see me. Take both of them, call both their names, tell them to go to the other room. Right? I step out the door. As soon as I step out the door, the white dude pulls his gun, dead in my face. Screams at me, put your hands up. Now I'm surprised, right? So my hands are still down. And I'm like, I'm confused because I've been living here for 13 years.
Yep.
Right? And I'm confused. I'm like, hold up. So I said, okay. I got my hands up. I'm like, what's going on? The other black cop turns around. Boom. Now I got 2 cops. Guns pointed dead at my face. One on my face, one on my chest. Right? And I'm like, all right, what's happening? They're like, well, we thought you were robbing the house. That's what they told me. And I said, well, if you thought I was robbing the house, do you think I would have came back to this door where you were to open it and talk to you? Don't you think I would have ran out the other side of the building? The other side, the door on the other side of my own house? If I was robbing the house? Right? And we stood there for about 10 minutes with the guns in my face before they put the guns down. Easily, I could have been shot. If one of them just got nervous or thought that I was moving the wrong direction. It took the black cop, right? Because the white dude was like, well, go get your ID. Then the black dude was like, never mind. Just don't worry about it. Right? And told him to put his gun down.
He smelled that lawsuit coming. Okay. He smelled it.
And then what even makes it worse is another cop comes from around the house and asks me, did you just get new brick put on your house? Yeah, I was flabbergasted. Word is born. I was flabbergasted. I was like, yo, these dudes is wild, man. You know what I'm saying?
My older brother, he's gonna talk about the cops a lot, but I remember when, I want to say it was maybe 16, 17. It happened when he was in high school. And it was him and his friend, and they were in a Hasidic neighbor. What? That might have been another one. I don't know if that might have been another one, but they were in the neighborhood. I want to say white neighborhood, maybe a Hasidic Jewish neighborhood, maybe Bensonhurst, one of the two, I can't remember. And he had undercover cops basically stop him, because in New York, not the Lincolns, I can't remember the damn model of the cars, but the ones that they had at the long antenna in the back, and you go just tell a detect undercover a UD or
Mhm.
I think those
or
are the Lincoln. Bro.
whatever. I think it's a Lincoln. I can't remember the damn model, but I could just see it in my right now. And he said, yeah, one of those is like two of them basically stopped him, put him on the ground. Him and his boy had the gun on their back, asked him why they were in his neighborhood, and they're like, yeah, we're just walking because we didn't have money for the train. Had the guns to the back and said, if you turn around before we get back to the car, we'll blow your effing brains off, both of them. So I'm not, I've had that done. I had that done to my friends from high school. I had my little brother stop by. Like I had my cousins, excuse me, stop by. I'm not saying this stuff doesn't happen. I believe, I don't think, for the most part, if you're poor and black, even rich and black, look, cops are more like you're not going to have a good interaction.
It's happening. No, because look,
but
when I
what
first
they
moved,
did in the movie though.
But look, when I first moved to Baltimore, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was year 2000.
Oh, but you know Baltimore's a war zone. So
all right, and I lived in. I mean, when I first moved to Baltimore, I was living in one of the projects there. Okay, It was called Tall Trees. It's gone now. They tore it down. And I went and I was hooping. I went and played ball. I was hooping. Okay. I'm coming back home. I didn't have my seatbelt on. So, the cops pulled me over. I still got New York tags. Cops pulled me over. But not just one cop pulled me over. They pulled me over to the side. Cop pulled behind me. Then a cop pulled in front of me. Then a cop pulled in front of me, but to the side. Then another cop pulled behind me, but to the side. They boxed me in. Okay? So now I'm boxed in. And I can't run anywhere if I wanted to. Right? And so, he say, I pulled you over. I'm like, no, he said, I pulled you over because, for you didn't have your seatbelt on. I'm like, all right, well, you can give me my ticket. Let me rock. I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. And then he asked me, can he search my car? And I was like, is there a reason to search my car? It's a routine stop. Because listen, I studied legal studies. I kind of knew. I was like, this is a routine stop. Why do you need to search my car? And he clearly told me, he said, if you don't search my car, I'm gonna find reasonable cause to search your car. I'm gonna search it anyway. Right? Stood there, tore my whole car apart, searched my car, looking for drugs, clearly. Right? Obviously, they found nothing. You know what I mean? And then let me go on about my way. Simply because I was black and my tag said New York on it. You know what I mean? Just a few weeks ago when I was in New York, cop pulled me over for no reason at all. I'm assuming because maybe he thought I was from Baltimore. Right? I said, can I ask you why you pulled me over? He said, no. I was like, what you mean, no? You pulled me over? Find out why you pulled me over. After, going back and forth a little bit, he finally just let me go. There was 1, 2, 3, 4 cops. One came to my side, 3 came to my wife and my daughter's side. Just harassing me for no reason, man. You know what I'm saying?
So,
Sam, by no means, Sam, I'm not saying this stuff. It happens, trust me. But one thing, if you saw the interview she had on CBS, right? Gayle King had to correct or basically question her because she implied that these people, the 2 people, were heroes in the movies, right? The Queen and Slim were heroes in the movies because they killed a cop and they killed a black cop, right? They killed a black cop. They killed a cop, period. And she was basically saying, ask her. And then she had to take it back because she understood it's ridiculous. And I think that one thing we have to watch out with a lot of these movies now that are coming out by these, black people who are now allowed to make these movies on the big screen. A lot of them have agendas, right? So to me, look, I understand there's an issue with the cops and the police, especially with black people, so-called black people. But to make a movie where to kind of lionize cop killers as heroes, that's the wrong message to put out. I don't care what no one says. That is not a narrative that back. Because look, we don't have a proper culture. I'm not going to get too deep, but we don't have the proper culture. We have the proper infrastructure, right? So when you look at people who deal with cops, why cops don't mess with certain other groups, right? Like the Chinese, sometimes the Indians, right? It's because they have economic bases. They have basically cultures that you can't really penetrate, and they need that support. They need that power, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that we don't have an issue with cops, but to make it seem like they're heroes for doing this. Now, one movie that one show that where I like the nuance of it where it's like they don't really make either side a good or a bad guy. Is The Wire, right? I watched The Wire. I probably watch it for like the damn fifth time. I just love that stupid show. And I like what they do where there's like, there's no, both sides can show the same humanity or whatever that the other side thinks there is, and the other side can show the same corruption the other side, you know, the other side's believed not to have, or that side's not believed to have. And I just don't like it where like you have these emotional, just drama-filled movies of black this and black that. Like they make black people to be this emotional, I don't say illogical, but just this overly emotional group of people. And that's not us. Like, I understand. I can give you countless stories where, yes, the same, maybe, like I said, my brother's been stopped, my little brother's been stopped, maybe not with a gun to his face of my other brother, where it's like, yo, bro, you feel like you just want to go out, but you know that's not the solution because these cops will murk you and you're not going to be some hero to these people, man. I don't know. I just feel like they're hidden agendas where you have people like her and the guy who made Moonlight. You know, and I wish we discussed Moonlight because it's just like they, you know, with that movie, I'm not getting too much about it.
So what was the hidden agenda here, though? What? Because the movie was about more than. First of all, I do want to say, and you know, I was listening to them on Variety, you know, interview they did on Variety about how it's, you know, about it being a black Bonnie and Clyde. It really wasn't a black Bonnie and Clyde at all. Bonnie and Clyde. It was, you know, they weren't going across the country committing crimes. Okay, that's Bonnie and Clyde. They're going across the country committing crimes. They weren't doing that. That's not what they were doing. You know, the guy, you know, said something that I thought was intelligent in an interview. Slim. And he said, you know, we weren't going across the country committing crimes. As a matter of fact, we didn't even have to commit a crime to get put in the situation we were in, as far as the characters in the movie, which is very true. I understand everything that you're saying about the depiction of two black Americans in this movie, black Americans, because they're actually not American. They're actually from the UK.
That's another issue.
They're actually from the UK, but
you talk about that.
You know, but two black Americans.
And the main chick in the movie just got married to a white dude in real life.
But and sorry, Sim, just to say this is how phony Hollywood is, because that chick Jody, she didn't go to my school, but she was around. Like I was talking to my friend Evel and a bunch of other people. Like we're like, yo, this is Jody from Pittsburgh. Like she was one of these chicks who try to be this, you know, woke type of, and I didn't even know she was an actress. They said that she was into drama, that stuff. I had no idea. I don't think she went to, I don't know where the hell she went to, but they knew of her because my boy Evan was trying to get with her friends and try to hook my other boy with her. But anyway, that's another story.
Stop lying.
But she put on this whole woke thing, right? At school, because I saw before, and she, you know, had the whole rap in her hair. This, and don't get me wrong, she's a beautiful, beautiful woman. I ain't taking that away from her. But then they get on Hollywood, and they, you know, she's dating Josh, what's her name, who said that he loves dating black women. So it's like and then the guy who plays an actor. Look, I'm not against actors coming overseas and doing roles in America. I'm not against that. But I think there's certain roles where the sensibilities need to go to American actors, man.
I agree.
Like, don't get me wrong. When I saw him in Get Out, I was like, "Come on, bro. Come." I don't feel you. As like, when you know the guy actually thought he should have played him. I thought the friend who they snapped the camera, the weirdo dude that's in Atlanta, or the show Atlanta. I thought he should have played that guy. Because don't get me wrong, look, the best actor who imitated an American actor was Stringer Bell.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you because I also agree with you because and
McNulty was British too in that show.
Yeah, but I also agree with you because one of the reasons that they said about the reason why they called it Queen and Slim, because when you watch the movie, they don't mention the names at all. Queen and Slim is not mentioned at all throughout the movie, not one time. I thought when they were in the juke joint, and you know everybody was supporting them in the juke joint, and I mean they didn't everyone didn't just come up and support them. It was only two people that kind of showed their support through very subtle actions. But I thought maybe the people who were the band was gonna say there goes Queen and Slim, just kind of calling them those names, right? Queen and Slim, like how you call a dude, yo, what's going on, Slim? You know what I mean, like that. but they didn't at all throughout the movie. At the end of the movie is when you finally even learn their names at the end of the movie, right? But what I read from the writer is that the whole purpose of calling it Queen and Slim is because they wanted to relate to all black people in America, right? So, you know, black women are queens, and a lot of black men are called Slim, right?
What?
But then the fact that
I agree with the queen part though, because these sons be queen, they be throwing that queen word around.
They do.
Sim, these are Sim. This is what I get mad at, right? You have this black face of a director who's supposed to be, but I'm pretty sure I don't know who the
you
writing
about the lesbian
was.
looking chick.
There's some white liberals who put it.
Facts. You already know
Come
that.
on, Slim, like, bro, like
Oh,
you have this kid.
what are you saying? There's some black liberals that what?
Because what they said is that.
But Sim, I see where you coming with that. I get what you're saying.
Well, no, that's not me saying it.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
But Sim, can you be honest? Like when you watch this guy, when you watch him in Get Out, whatever, right? Do you feel like, when you watch this guy, you don't have to, it's not you representing, but see, and exactly, now he's saying, it represents all black people.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. The writers of the movie, he didn't say that.
No. I'm saying I'm saying whoever you were referencing. I'm not saying the act. I'm sorry. I meant to say whoever you're referencing. I just used she, my bad. Whoever you're referencing, right? These writers, I got to look it up because I feel like you have to have these stupid liberal garbage crap in it to make a black movie. If you don't have that, if you have a movie like Fresh that was nuanced, that was deep, that talked about the struggles, but that kind of gave some dignity to these black characters and some nuance, you're not going to be pushed into the big screen. You could literally have a movie about people in Detroit. You have people in Chicago. Have local actors, good actors, who can act out these characters and just do a good job. You watch these movies, and this guy, he's trying to feign to have an American accent, which is tough enough, and then he might try to localize it a little bit, and it's like, he might slip out and say, yeah, my dog. And it's like, what the, you know what I mean? When you watch this guy, it's like, is this? You look at him, it's like, that's not. Come on, man.
I thought he did a good job. I'm not gonna lie. I understand what you're saying about him being from the UK, but I thought he did a good job. Now, on the other side of that, though, with them using the names Queen and Slim, that's kind of, that's American jargon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it
would have been good for them to use American actors.
A chick have a GED, they be calling her a queen out here. So I get that.
And I'm gonna tell you right now. Here in DC, Slim is thrown around all day long.
Slim Charles, remember Slim Charles?
I mean, it's just he's
from DC too, right?
I mean, it's just, what's going on, Slim? What's up, Slim?
Nah,
Slim ain't do this. Slim is doing that. Trust me. But
don't y'all say, y'all, you throwing me, or was it you?
Hey, Slim, they call me Slim, right?
Yeah.
But Slim and
also,
Gilmore,
just that wasn't. Yeah. Of course, that was a big theme of the movie, but that wasn't everything in the movie.
I know.
That wasn't everything in the movie. You really do have to watch it. That wasn't everything in the movie. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm gonna watch it. I stupidly messed up.
I'm gonna go see it tomorrow.
There's other themes about love between, a black man and a black woman, and it's other
like
themes
a Tinder
in the
date,
movie
right?
too.
Weren't they on like a Tinder date or something like that?
Yeah, but it's about it's about love. Two people who are kind of lost in this world finding each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's more than just that. It does have, I thought it was a good movie. Regardless of, how, different things, I thought it was a pretty good movie.
I ain't killing a woman on a Tinder date, man.
But check this out, though. But look, when you go on Tinder, fellas, right? So all the guys in the chat, front stool following, you gotta pay for the premium. Pay for the premium. You get to swipe life is crazy. You don't pay for the premium, you're gonna be left on scene when you hit them inboxes.
I'm gonna fix my.
But so Gilmore, real quick, what I wanted to run by you and Sim, right? Speaking about liberal, when I say it's more leftist, like you got some logical liberals out there. It's more of a leftist type of agenda. But what happens is this. This show when you talked about foreign actors, right? I don't know if you watched Tone Talks. He was talking about the show Insecure and how she's half African. We can't hear you, Gilmore. I can't hear nothing. What's going on?
I don't know what
Can you
happened,
hear
Gilbert,
me?
but go ahead, Kareem. Go ahead, Kareem.
Nah, we was talking about the show Insecure and how, you know, the Issa Rae, she's half, you know, one parent is from here and one parent is from Senegal.
Mm-hmm.
And how, you know, you basically have this person starring on this show and she can't relate to Black Americans because she never grew up around us.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing with Barack Obama. He wasn't around us until later in life.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and you see it in the show, like you can see like she has some, you know, not a disconnect, but she really doesn't know anything about that life.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But of course, like you know, even, you know, I just feel like it's, some people say these are agendas, but I feel like dumb people will get fooled anytime. So if you're dumb enough to buy into the agenda, you're just as much to blame.
I feel you. And see, I also, you know, like this movie, it just, all right, so someone makes a movie, right? And here we are discussing it, you know, and talking about different Black themes that are within the movie and things that impact the Black community, right?
Yeah.
So whether or not a person agrees with certain things within the movie, you know what I mean? If it raises some kind of discussion like this, it helps. Now, you know, it needs to go somewhere besides the front stoop, right? You know, it needs to go somewhere besides the front stoop. But I thought it was a very good movie. It's definitely an emotional movie. You know what I'm saying? People in the movie theater, you know, there's a lot of cheering in the movie theater. You know, people upset about stuff. I'm going to tell you one part that really, you know, brought the cheers. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but they was in Florida, and they went to this white couple's house, right? And the white couple were trying to help them get to where they can get to a helicopter so that they can get to Cuba, right?
Get out the country, right?
Get out the country.
Mm-hmm.
So they were there. Now, the wife, you know, they kind of thought the wife, you know, people kind of thought that the wife was going to try to turn them in. And she was a little bit iffy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The cops ended up, you know, they found out they was there. The cops ended up, you know, surrounding the house. They told them, run upstairs, hide under the bed. They're like, under the bed? What am I going to do under the bed? Well, under the bed, you could lift up the floor, and they hid under the bed. Right?
Oh, that's crazy.
Right. Yeah. You can lift up the pieces of wood. They hid under the wood, then they put the wood back on top of themselves. You know what I'm saying? The next day, they leave. You know, they leave out the house, and the cops got the house surrounded, and they're trying to figure out, you know, how I'm gonna get up out of here. They see a garage. They run into the garage, and they're trying to you know, there's a car in there. They're trying to hotwire the car. They hotwire the car.
Hotwire the car, yeah.
Right. In the meantime, there's a white cop and a black cop talking to each other, right? And the black cop was like, yo, do you hear that? Because he had to they jumped out the window, her shoulder got popped out of place. Right. Ooh. And so he popped it back in and she screamed. He was like, yo, so the cop was like, yo, do you hear that? And the white cop was like, it's just nature. He was like, nah, something more than that. He's like, well, you go ahead and go back there and look. He made some smart comment. I forgot what it was. Called him a boy or something. I don't know. Right. So he went back there and he found them. Right. And he found them. And he was like, he seen them two back in there. He opened up the garage door and he seen them getting ready to escape in the car. And, you know, at that moment, they're looking at him. He's looking at them. The whole movie theater is silent. Like, okay, what's he going to do? Is he going to arrest them or is he going to let them go? You know what I'm saying? He moved to the side and let them go. They jumped out of there. The whole movie theater erupted. You know what I'm saying? The whole movie theater
the cop
erupted.
let them go?
The black dude, the black cop let him go.
That's not realistic.
But you know, but hold up though. You know what? If I would have told you.
But you said he called them boys, so he probably just had that moment where he was
and that's what happened. He was mad. And so then he went back and the white cop asked him, what was it? He said, it was just two deer caught in a tree. Right? But listen, but check this out though.
The worst cops are black cops, man.
But check this out. I want to say this though. I want to say this because Guillermo says, see, that's not real. But this is what I want to say though. I can guarantee you, if before O.J. Simpson ever happened, if someone told you that entire story, made a movie about that entire story, you'd be like, yo, that's not real. That shit ain't real. Unreal stuff does
O.J.
happen
Simpson?
sometimes, though. Unreal,
No, I understand.
unreal stuff
there are a
happens
lot of
sometimes.
cops who feel split between their race and how to get treated. I understand. But a lot of these cops out here, they don't see them. I talked to a cop and at a bodega. It was me, him, and the dudes who were working there, the Arabic dudes who were working there. And he was like, when they were talking about the Eric Garner thing, right? He was talking to like as if, because remember who's the police commissioner? Is it Bill Bratton?
Bratton, yeah, he was here
This
before
guy,
in the
and
early
we were
90s
talking
too.
about like how Bill Bratton was basically making excuses or wasn't a chokehold. And this black dude, when I broke it down, he was like, "Oh well, this guy shouldn't have been selling illegal cigarettes, all this stuff." I'm like, he wasn't selling illegal cigarettes. He actually broke up a fight. He's like, "Well, but black people," and I'm like, the guy was talking as if he was not black. A lot of these black cops who are in the force, they don't see themselves as black, bro. They see themselves as different. And a lot of those guys are there for a paycheck, their pension, and they don't care what heads they got to crack. They'll be in a black
you
neighborhood,
can't say all of them,
cracking
though.
heads, doing a whole broken window policy. A lot
you
of
can't
black
say all
cops
of them, though.
do not mess
hold
with
on.
black cops. Wait, Isaiah, can I finish? A lot of these black cops do not see themselves as us, bro. They don't. They think they're better than us. They think they're above us. Even when they're around their so-called racist white friends, I won't say all white cops are racist. Their little racist friends who make their little comments or whatever. A lot of them go along with it. That's why that whole thing with the New York 12 or whatever it was called, like was it Anthony or Pedro Serrano? All those guys who filed a lawsuit.
Oh, Central Park 5?
No, not Central Park 5. The I think it's like the 12 cops who filed a lawsuit.
Oh yeah, I remember they talked to they came out
and they say
after,
a lot. There are a lot of black cops and Hispanic cops who go, and some of them are even worse than the white cops, bro. So I'm not saying that doesn't happen where it's like, but man, when your pension is up and you guys still operate under the secret quota system, they Queen and Slim, let me get my promotion. Let me stop these mother effers and let me lock them up, man. So I don't know that. Come to New York. I know you live in New York, Sim. You also live in DC. Black cops ain't like on some Queen and Slim.
Let me say something. Let me say something.
Is it you gonna repeat yourself? All right, cool. My fault.
Hey, listen, no, but like, seriously though, like when it comes to these black cops, because I hear what you're saying, I really do, because you got the extreme line, like from what's that movie, Boys in the Hood, when you got the extreme one, like he don't even consider himself black, but then you got the cop in Queen and Slim, like the black one, like that. You know, I see those cops a lot more though. I'm not gonna lie to you. From here, over here, you see the black cops like that, like Sim. You know the one I was talking to the kid. And
see, okay, I want to jump right in with what you're saying, because Isaiah is speaking from the perspective of where he lives and comes from. You speaking of a perspective of where you live and come from. When that happened there, they were all the way down south. That's a total different culture and a total different life.
But yo, Seb, I just want to share something with y'all real quick, right? So, like, all right, like me, I'll be honest. I don't get stopped by the police.
Me neither.
I'll be honest with you.
I got once.
Like most people with me, most people are intimidated by me. So I'm not. You understand what I'm saying? Not saying that it can't happen to me, but like, you know, like most people, I've never been stopped by cops ever. Like, you know, I never had to worry about that. So, but when I used to do as a company in the Bronx called Madison Security, I did bouncing security for years. So when I came to them with my experience, they got something called SCU, Special Enforcement Unit. So wherever site you go to, you're the manager of the site. So all of the SCU dudes are either off-duty cops, off-duty peace officers, correction officers, or just big dudes like me. You know, so you'll be in, like I was in River Park Towers, Tracy Towers, Esplanade Gardens. So you in these places and see, everything is not black and white. Yeah, you have dickhead cops, but we never deal with the way people act in our neighborhoods. A lot of these people out here don't act civilized in the neighborhood. I used to get cursed out, all of that shit. And they only did it because they knew I wouldn't put my hands on them and lose my job. You understand what I'm saying? It was like, and they had me, like I was in a building called Canaan Towers. Like I had to ask crack dealers to stop selling crack in staircases. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not armed, but my size, and then we had another SCU dude, another big dude. So if he came up there, they was definitely leaving. And then we would have to call my supervisor, who was a district manager. He was a cop for 15 years, had to retire early. He was shot on the job, almost died. His name is Merritt. And he would reach out to the property management, and what happened was cops came to me because I was SCU, and what they used to do was a Spanish cop and a black cop, and every day they would come do a vertical with me, just to show their presence. And basically, it got so crazy where the cops sat in a vacant apartment and they did a sting, and they had started locking people up in the building. And yeah, but I don't know, man. I was, after a while, I got liked in the building because people started to realize that I was there for the safety of the people in the building. People felt safe with me there, and I built that rapport with the people in the building. First, they couldn't stand me because I was going by the book. I wasn't opening the door for nobody. They supposed to have their key. This fat motherfucker. Da, da, da. You understand what I'm saying? And it's because a lot of us, I'll say it, man, a lot of us are raised by women. We don't use logic at all. So obviously, if I'm not opening the door, I'm doing it for a reason. Because the more I open the door, the more these people come in the building to buy. So if you don't have a key, and then what I would do was they think they get in the building, right? Boom. I look on the camera, go right to that floor. Yo, my man, you got to leave.
Sim, were you just showing the trailer of the movie?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Just to go to Kareem's point, was it just a protest and a riot because of Queen and Slim in the movie?
Yeah, I saw a clip. I didn't really catch it.
Yeah. I mean, that was part of the movie.
And Sam, this is what I'm talking about. Like, Kareem made a good point. I'm not demonizing and Kareem is not doing that either. But an issue we have in the black community is that we don't have enough good fathers who are. Because let's be honest, like you're sitting here, you're throwing a riot and a protest because of two people, and unfortunately, I guess they're criminals, fugitives on the run, despite what the cop may have done, whatever. Even though that came from a very emotional place. It's like, come on, man! Now you have a riot and a protest that's going to lead to nowhere, and these two people. It's like there's a lot of emotional,
let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you this though. I'm gonna ask you this: if that really happened, think about OJ. I'm going back to this because the feeling of black people to me would be similar in this case. You think about OJ, the black community wanted OJ to get off. Why?
Right.
Tell me why.
Because they're tired of seeing a black man persecuted by the system.
Yes. And you talk to black people today, they know OJ killed them. They know what OJ did. They know what the heck he did.
Conspiracies behind that, but
okay,
that's another front stoop show. But
listen, that's Johnny Cochran's son right there. Hey. If you don't got it, say it can't be rape.
All right. He didn't use that around
Kareem. But they know, black people know what OJ did, right? They know OJ killed them. But back then, they wanted OJ to beat the system. I can guarantee you, if that happened today, and it was two black people on the run after they killed the cop, simply because of the way things are right now, the black community would want them to escape. I really do think they would want them to get past.
I'll give you a better one, Sim. I'll give you. See, you're coming from how people will respond, right?
But that's what that was about.
No.
That's what that march was about in the movie.
Sim, let me show you what power does, right? Who was the district attorney of was it Brooklyn, who just died? Not just died. He died like a few years ago. What's his name? Kenneth.
The one that got the Kai girl.
Yes, a district attorney.
Peter Liang. Yeah, he got Peter Liang.
The one who got Peter Liang. What the hell is his damn name? He died. Kenneth Thompson. Kenneth Thompson, right? This dude, Kenneth Thompson. Remember what the platform he ran off of, right, Sim? Was, hey, I'm a protect black people, blah blah blah. This whole pro-black what's the move, right? when Akai Gurley was unfairly and unjustly killed by Peter Liang, after Peter Liang was taught not to go in those buildings because they didn't have proper lighting and they didn't have training to go in those buildings in the project business, because you get spooked, and obviously what happened, he got spooked. A guy just opens the door, he pulls out a gun and shoot him. I think he wanted to kill somebody, but that's another show, right? What the business leaders, Asian business leaders who wanted to see Peter Liang get off,
they funded his campaign. They put money in his pocket.
They did not march. They did that fake march that one day. Yeah. But because my cousin used to work for just him, and I works for Bill de Blasio. He said that there were so many Asian business leaders that basically put pressure on him. And it went from a 15-year, it was supposed to be a 15-year sentence. I think he recommended a 15-year sentence, something like a 15
or 15 probation, right?
Change it to probation. That's where black people need to be off of.
Power. We don't vote.
I get that, but my argument is not whether or not marching works or does not work. That's not my argument here. My argument is about in the movie, because you said, see, that's not real. My argument is about
what I'm saying is that's
movie.
Agenda-driven, Sim. A lot of what these movies have, especially with black people, because unfortunately we're one of the main, whatever you want to call it, not benefactors, but one of the main recipients of media, with TV, music. We're one of the biggest recipients of it. We're one of the main people who create it, right? Unfortunately, we're affected by it to some degree. They have a lot of agendas in these movies where they make it seem, yeah, man, act out, emotion, yeah, and that's all we're depicted as, these emotional beings. We're never solution oriented. I know it's not supposed to be a movie where, we're gonna build up businesses and protect Queen and Slim and change the law. I understand, but what they do a lot in these movies, this Moonlight, is a lot of emotional crap that just puts us in this awful
so what
that.
Wasn't Fresh? Fresh wasn't emotional. Fresh wasn't an emotional.
Let me say this though.
Fresh wasn't the same way.
So again, I remember you said. I know y'all was talking about the black mothers, but the kid that shot the black cop, he was with his father. His father was, a typical black man growing up, and. The
Slim or whatever his name.
No, you gotta watch the young kid. I'm not gonna lie, bro. This is why you gotta watch the movie, because
what you say, Sam?
The young man was raised by his father, the one that fixed the car. He was a mechanic. He was raised by his father and everything. But again, this is part of America where young black men, that's how they feel, is that they have all this bottled up anger because of what they see on TV. I agree to you to a certain extent.
Hold on real quick. You see what D Public Enemy wrote? That's a good point. He said black people were still mad from Rodney King beating, so they wanted OJ free. That's a fact.
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead, though.
But here's the thing, though, and it's like, and this is why I do agree with you, man, because the media will portray that this is a black and white thing, that there's white cops all over America killing black people. Well, it's not like that. Like Sim said earlier, where I'm from, where I'm around, in Connecticut, bro, that don't really happen. Like the cops around here, I'm not gonna lie to you, they're the most friendliest.
What part of Connecticut you live in?
It was an awful part. Don't worry about it.
You live in Hartford? They need to start shooting. I don't live. That means y'all crazy over there.
I don't live in Hartford.
You live in Bridgeport. Don't worry about it.
Oh, you live. Bridgeport is crazy, bro. You be on one block is nice. The next block is the next block. I'm like, what is that?
He's getting mad. He's getting mad.
Kareem, stop listening to him. I don't live in Hartford. I don't live in Bridgeport.
Where you live at, bro?
I live next to New Haven.
New Haven worse. That's one of the top 10 most.
Nah, Bridgeport is like the worst.
New Haven is top 10 most dangerous neighborhoods in America. New Haven is number 3, bro.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is,
y'all got a bunch of
my God, this Negro
out there. Go ahead, bro. You about to repeat yourself? Go ahead.
My father's a pastor, by the way.
Yeah.
But I feel what you're saying, man. There's nuance to it, but even when you just said the young man, right?
But by your logic, though, what you're saying is this, Gilmore. If you saying that we're the biggest recipients of media and stuff like that, and I get what you mean, the way we take it in, then we have to look at and argue this point. And I know it's a tough pill to swallow. If we're saying that by that logic, we're saying that black people are the dumbest people out there.
Black people are the most, I think, especially when it comes to media, right? We want to be, not we, because let me not say we, because I don't really give a damn. Whatever.
No,
But
you
a lot
don't
of
give a
people
damn
with-
on what? See, hold on. What was you about to
No,
say?
no,
You
'cause
don't give a damn on
like,
what?
I grew up I went to a white high school and that stuff, right? And growing up, I was always saying, put your head down, just do your work. It's white people this, white people that, and not in a race way. Because look, my mom came from Nigeria. She worked extremely hard, to be where she's at. A very tough time. So she was just of the mindset like, don't be emotional, just keep your head down. Whatever the white people, administrators, whatever tell you to do, just follow it, blah blah. And she's a woman. She's a survivalist, right? So she wasn't gonna sit here and teach me, not to say don't have pride about yourself, but not to be overly expressive with it. Like, don't. And in my head is like, I go around. It's like I don't care to be accepted socially by white people. I have white friends, I have Asian friends, all this stuff, and I'm cool with them. But I'm not one of those people where it's like, yeah, man, I just long to be, this unity. I want you guys to feel how I feel. I don't give a F how you feel about how I feel, because I feel more that black people need to band together in terms of working together, being together, building up a proper culture, because that's been destroyed however many years. And black, there's so many different, there's so many different things of black. So it's like, we're like a diaspora that's just so separated, but we all get treated similarly in the system. No matter if you're Caribbean, African, European, black, swarthy, it don't matter what you are. You get treated the same as. So in my head, I'm not, when they make these movies, it's like, I feel like the lady Swat, whatever her name is, she wants to make it where it's like this movie, I want you to feel out pain. And I'm of the mindset is like, I don't really give a damn if you feel out pain. I want to show the next time that
you really got to go ahead and watch it. Then you really got to go ahead and watch it, because I don't know if it was just about I want to make you feel out pain.
I'm not one of these people. I'm not gonna watch it. I just came because I didn't watch, but I knew of it. I just don't. I want to be that. If we make a Queen and Slim, I want to show that it's like we're like, and I'm not saying we should be like them exactly, but I want it to where it's like the Asian, right? So I'm having a Queen and Slim. We ain't protesting. It's like, all right, all those politicians, our money goes away, our support goes away, and now you're pandering to us. You're begging us for. You're making change to the law and stuff. I know that's not sexy for a movie, but I just want the paradigm to shift maybe in real life, and I feel like a lot of these movies. It's just a lot of stuff that it's just, I don't know, a lot of agenda-driven, just dribble. But I'll watch it.
You gotta watch the movie. You gotta watch it. I want to flip the script, but keep.
Though, my bad. Son.
I want to flip the script, but we're gonna keep it on kind of the same subject. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch it. I know Guillermo said he was gonna. I don't know if you got a chance.
Yeah,
to watch
I don't want to comment too much. That'd be irresponsible.
I'm gonna watch it.
But American Son, did you get a chance to watch that?
You gonna kill?
So what'd you say, Sam? What show?
It's a movie called American
Son is the one with the missing this bad chick, this cute chick, Kerry Washington. She's Kerry Washington. A child goes missing.
And she's in the police station.
Is it a son or is it a daughter?
It's her son. It's her son. She's in a police station. The entire film is based in the police station. There's only 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 characters. 5 characters if you count the son, but the son is never seen in the movie.
You know what's crazy, Sam? I wish they would have done that movie on black girls, because that's a bit, especially in DC, as you know, in the DMV, they're like, was it hundreds of thousands of black girls missing?
Yo, dude just tried to snatch him in some dude tried to snatch him in New York.
It's not about.
I'm just saying. I just wish that because
it's not about him being missing. It's not about him being missing, right? It's about this. All right. So I'll tell you what. It's not. I don't even know if there's a plot to it, really. It's based off of a play. Okay. Yeah. She's in the police station, and she's kind of freaking out because she can't find her son. I think her and her son got into an argument earlier in the day or something like that. She can't find her son, and the white cop is in there. She's feeling very disrespected by the white cop by some of the things that the cop is asking. What kind of markings does he have on his body? What's his street name? A lot of things that infer that he thinks this kid is a gangster or is just some ghetto kid, right? He has some racial overtones to him and a lot of racial insensitivities. Okay. But he's not giving her the respect she feels like she deserves. She's getting really upset. But then also she's kind of being belligerent sometimes, right? So a white man walks in, okay? And the cop that's there starts saying to the white guy, yeah, just giving him the information that he wants. And he's saying, yeah, she went from 0 to ghetto in like 60 seconds or whatever he said, right? She walks out. I think she went to the bathroom or she went to get some water. When she walks out, the white cop that just walked in, he's an FBI agent, is her husband, right? And the white cop that was there in the police station, he didn't realize that, so now he's embarrassed. Whatever, he goes, and he's doing what he has to do. Now them two are having a conversation. Their entire conversation starts to revolve around the kid being mixed and how he never understood the type of things that his son had to go through being mixed, right? And how even at his school, because they paid for him being in a, to be in a whatever school, the white guy didn't understand how he was feeling like, because he was the only black kid in the school, even though he was probably yellow, only black kid in the school, how he had to be the face of the race for the school. And he was struggling with not being a kid that was raised in the hood.
Not being a white person.
He was struggling because he's caught in between. So now his identity is like, okay, what do I do? Where do I go? I'm not black enough. I'm not white enough. You know what I'm saying? And their conversation surrounded around that. It ended up that he ended up, he was out, and this too has to, I don't know if this fully dealt with police brutality or not. But the cop, he ended up getting shot by a cop.
The kid.
But it was very, very good. And it does tell a story about how some half black, half white kids feel in America and where they stand. And not even just
mixed.
I mean, mixed race children. Not even where not even where just those kids stand, but especially where I live, right? There's a lot of black children who they're not exactly sure where they stand either, because their parents come from DC, right? Mm-hmm. And grew up in DC. Mm-hmm. And so they still can relate to that, the parents. And they bring that to their household, the way that they walk, the way that they talk, all of those things. But the kids grew up in the suburbs, in a big house, right? But now the kid's not sure, am I a suburban kid? Do I have some of this in me or not? They're not. Right now, like where I live is kind of this time period where there's a lot of black kids that not exactly sure where they fit when it comes to being a black person. And I see it every day. I started my basketball program to work with kids that were underprivileged. All right. Mm-hmm. I picked up some players, and, I never knew where they lived. They talk a real good game. And they sound like they really from there. And one day I brought them home. They lived in a mansion. Like, what the hell is going on? So I had to stop and rethink everything that I was doing, because I was like, this was not who I was intending this program to be for. You know what I'm saying? This is a different type of child that I was intending my program to be for.
Thanks, though.
You know what I'm saying? Right?
Oh, that's actually funny.
But the thing is, there's a lot of kids where I live. There's some mixed race children, some who are all black, that are a little bit confused about where they fit within a race, especially being so close to DC that we are.
Can I chime in real quick with this?
One second. But for mixed race children, it's even a little more difficult. And there's, of course, more and more mixed race children as we continue to move on.
It's the J. Cole's of the world, right?
J. Oh man, I got a lot of things to say about
J. Cole like smoke a pound of crack a day.
Yeah, see, and no offense. Somebody said this. Somebody, I don't know if you listen to him, Sim, but he goes by name of Chronicles of Judah. And he made a good point. A lot of mixed kids are always the ones who like act out the most in regards to like trying to find identity, right? I knew a kid from college. He probably doesn't watch this show. His name is Nate. Black kid. He doesn't watch the show. I don't care. I don't hate him, but I just think he's corny for this, right? So when I came as a prospective student, right? So it's my senior year of high school, and I'm coming to visit school, Carnegie Mellon. This guy was like a nerd, right? We went to like he was a I want to say he was a sophomore when I came. I think he's 2 grades above me. I want to say he's a sophomore. I come there, right, and he took me like just showed me around, and we went to some place where you play like video games and some stupid crap at Carnegie Mellon, a bunch of nerds, right? So I mean, it was cool. It's like, all right, I understand you're smart. You're a smart kid. Like, of course you be into this. I don't look that. I'm not some gangster. Not at all. And then when I get to the school, right? So maybe say my sophomore year, he joined Alpha Phi Alpha, right? This guy got tattoos, was getting into fights every weekend, getting arrested by the cops. This guy actually sat me down, bro. This is how, I'm not saying all mixed kids. This is the thinking of some mixed kids. This guy's a white mother, right? He started bad mouthing his mother, like, oh, shame about ish, and I'm like, what? I'm like, did she do something to you, bro? She's like, nah, but she don't understand me, because she was white. This you're talking about your own mother who didn't do nothing wrong to you, gave birth to you, was still in your life, didn't abandon you, fed you, gave you clothes, just because she's white. And this guy tried to be like tough, because the Alpha, all these frat, they always like work out together. So you started getting
so you slap him in the face.
That's my boy. I was cool with him, so
I'm just talking about them in general.
But it's like, bro, like, are you confused like about your? And it's a lot of these. I'm not saying a lot of them. I'm not saying every light can do, but it's like a lot of these mixed kids, man. You meet them, and it's the same thing, Sim.
But Gilmore, a lot of them are confused. They are confused.
I wanted to say this though, because
came out his mother, bro.
It's crazy because it's crazy because a lot of these kids, man, it's like, but I try to put myself in their shoes though, Guillermo. Shut up, Kareem. Kareem, I'm gonna smack your tall ass.
Whoa.
Come on, man. Keep going.
What was that?
Yeah. Isaiah, this violence.
Watch him.
This violence.
But it's like,
he might try.
You try to put yourself in their shoes because, like, growing up, and we all, a lot of us, I don't know if you guys did it, but a lot of us make fun of kids that, like, something. If you were yellow, if you were like light skin or something like that, you make fun of them, or if like they find out they have white.
Bro, we make fun of everybody, bro.
I don't know about that.
I got called African booty scratcher.
Facts, exactly, Gilmore. You see what you just said? I was about to say that.
I got called African booty scratcher.
Everybody got teased, man.
It happened to all. I'm just saying, it happened to all of us, and all of us got made fun of. I was used to get.
I know you got made fun of.
Yo, Isaiah, bro. The light skinned kids were looked at. The light skinned kids were the one making fun of everybody else, and I didn't even get treated light skinned. I got called African booty scratcher, umbele, all that stuff. I took it in stride, and maybe it's my culture because Nigerians, I guess we're more insulated, so they were just like, yo, F them, make fun of them back, and if they hit you, hit them back. And I got taller in elementary school, like by like fifth grade, so it's like people just didn't do that anymore. It was like I was more powerful than a lot of people. So it's like, to me, I don't know what they're teaching these kids. I don't think it's all mixed kids. This is why I disagree with you. I don't think it's all mixed kids.
No, it's not all.
Because I know a lot of mixed kids who can fight. But you better grip up and be able to fight or knock somebody out when they say, and they'll stop.
What I'm trying to say with that, it might just be, just them getting made fun of that, one side doesn't accept them, and
I was never accepted. I'm Nigerian. I don't get accepted by Nigerians. I wasn't accepted by African Americans. I was stuck between one of these not really fresh off the boat, but not really American people, and I had to find a way to mix in with different groups of people. Everybody gets made fun of. That's almost especially with black people. Now I'll say this with white people. When white people, I went to White Out High School. When they make fun of you, they don't do it to kind of like pecking order stuff. It comes from deep. Because I got called stuff and I got treated certain ways at Wilton High School where it's like, bro, what the hell? Like, I got bullied in elementary school, but it's like, all right, they just test you, trying to test you out. If you could fight, they'll respect you. It's kind of like, all right, he's good.
Yeah,
I was with the white people. Now, maybe I could agree with you with the white people because when I was in Wilton High School, bro, I remember some of what these kids were doing and saying, and even some of the teachers, how they looked at us, and how some of the administrators looked at us. If you weren't one of these like goody two-shoe black people, you know, I had one of the highest GPAs in my public school program.
That's why
the house
they
I
were
was
mad,
in, and I was looked as militant because I didn't smile with a whole bunch of white people and, you know, do all this. So I can understand that, but with mixed kids, man, like I don't know what their parents are telling them, but you gotta build up some self-validation, bro.
But
hey,
Gilmo, you know what I think? Here's what has to happen though, and it's the most logical thing. They're searching for an identity, and the identity is there. You're mixed. It's not hard. You have one parent that's one race and a parent that's another race. It's simple.
But I think what's harder.
But I think what happens is this. I think it's really bad though, because I've had mixed friends like this, where the white parent was wealthy and they had that side.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And like, you know, they could, you know, get out of financial binds from that side, this, that, and the third. And then their black side, you know, they would, you know, consider them ghetto because they were in poor neighborhoods. So, you know, they would struggle from that aspect too.
Yo, I agree with you. I forgot about this. So the program, this is a perfect example. I actually agree with Isaiah and you to a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in my program, the ABC program, right, at Wilton, right, we have like these host families where it's like we live in a house, right? It's like 7, 8 of us. We have administrators, 2 people, and we just go to local high school, which is, you know, Wilton's a good high school. Or I don't know what it is now, but it was a good high school back then, right? And so we have these host families, right? And they basically take us in every Sunday. They take us out, and then every once a month they take us for a weekend. We sleep over and whatever.
That sounds like the Fresh Air Fund a little bit. How did you go to the houses for the summer?
Right. And I'll say this: you just brought up a perfect point. My host father was black, light skinned black, whatever. Right. My host mother was white. I remember this. Guy's my witness. I remember I told my mom. I told everybody in my family because I laughed. When I asked this dude, because I saw a picture of him and his sisters, I thought he was one of these like, oh yeah, I grew up. His sisters, these big old afros. I want to use ghetto in a pejorative way, but ghetto as in like, yeah, man, this dude came from the hood. This guy, when I asked him, are you black? Or like he said, well, partially. Like he was trying so hard. And if you hear this guy's voice,
with something else,
bro, when he said that, my heart was like.
Yeah, but
I agree with you. And his
children,
I remember his. Sorry, I just want to say this one thing. I remember his son, right? And they're mixed, but they look more white than anything. But the son has like curly hair, but you wouldn't really tell unless you. This dude, I remember one time we were joking, and this dude said, "Oh, I guess I can say the N-word now since I'm mixed." And it's like this. I just realized the father does not teach them anything about black culture, black heritage whatsoever. He keeps that away as if it's like, yeah, I'm not one of those. I'm a part of you.
Yeah.
Like if you heard how this guy talks to him, you'll want to slap him. Like you'd be like, yo, come on, bro. You trying harder to talk like this than your normal voice. Like when he's around all these like friends, hey Jack, how are you? When he's around me, hey, you gotta do that. I'm like, bro, like, what the F?
Majority of these children have, you know, a white mother that, you know, comes from a different culture. Not all of them, you know, now you got, you know, some white women that really indoctrinate them, try to indoctrinate themselves into black culture. And then they got, you know, their father who is, you know, just a black dude from the hood. You know what I'm saying? And so they grow up trying to figure out, how do I make myself fit in both cultures? Now, fitting into the black culture is not going to be a problem. It's the other side where there's the problem. And I can tell you from experience. I can tell you from experience because my son is mixed. Right? And he had to deal with it his whole life. His entire life. He had to deal with it. Hold up. Let me unmute you.
Isaiah.
Go ahead, because you was going to the bathroom. Go ahead, Isaiah. What you saying?
Yeah, Isaiah.
Never mind. Don't worry about what I said.
Isaiah, please continue with your story. Ignore it. Just ignore it. Don't.
But he had to deal with it his entire life, right? So you know he's like partially, not partially mixed. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of Hispanic and white, and then black and Hispanic. My son is okay, and he's had to deal with it his entire life because his grandmother's white. And that's who his mother grew up with. Right? And so that whole entire side of his family is totally, when I say totally different than my side of the family, 100% the polar opposite. Right? So that's a big dichotomy that you got to deal with.
Hey, Sim, can I say this though? Sim, can I say this and this?
I agree with you, sir.
Hey, Sim, can I say this and it's not about...
hold on, and I'm not talking about, my current wife is Hispanic, is Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Talk about a formal relationship.
Yeah. Hey, Sim, can I say this though about, just about, not even about the mixed kids, but about what you were saying before about kids that grew up like suburbs and stuff? Because I have two stories. Like for me personally, Sim, I never grew up in the hood. My parents worked hard. They had a house. And we've been middle class my whole life. And I've been blessed to grew up in that. I only grew up in one house.
Take out the garbage, Isaiah.
Shut the hell up, Kareem. Shut the hell up. But you know what I'm saying?
You got a middle class ass whooping on camera.
Yeah, I still got the ass whoopers, man. Don't get that twisted. But so Sim, when it came to me, I used to always, and I can say when I was a younger age, I did want to go up in the hood because I used to get made fun of for being, middle class and my parents have been together my whole life, and people used to make fun of that.
You got teased for having a daddy, right?
Yeah, bro.
That's how the black community.
My cousins used to tease me for having my father in my life.
I already knew what you were saying, bro.
We ain't shit, man. We ain't shit.
Like my cousins used to tease me because my dad was in my life, and that I grew up in.
See, they tease you because you had structure, because you had to be at home at a certain time. They tease you because you had structure. Yeah, and it's crazy because it's like, what I'm saying? It's like growing up, I used to really feel insecure about that because I'd be like, dang, like I just want my cousins and my friends to like me because I just wanted to be accepted by them because it's like I guess I was out of the norm, not knowing that I was just truly blessed my whole life because my parents worked hard. You know what I'm saying? To provide us the best life they could. I didn't see it from that way. I seen it from the way of, why can't my parents get a divorce? Why can't I Nah, bro. I'm not saying that, bro. I know what you talked about that. Tommy Sotomayor was talking about that growing up. But I'm gonna tell you something. It applies to everything, though, man. Because I give you an example. I actually. By the way, my EP is dropping soon. It's called, I got these bars. I'm about to come out. But that's another story. That's another story, though. But like for example, I have friends, right, that are actually they were active in the street, years ago, or and they still do their little thing. And me, I'm not for example, I read a lot of books. I try to stay informed. I like learning. I like information. I would stand on the block with them. And then I would feel kind of embarrassed because, I want to be seen as a smart, intelligent person. And I felt, if people see me standing on the block, they're going to think I'm a ghetto dumbass. So these people think these things, it's just simple, just do this, do it, that. But, as human beings, it's natural for us to care what other people think of us.
Yeah, we're very social.
Yes, we're social. We're social creatures. So that's a normal thing, But
another thing about what Sim was talking about though, what a lot of it's also a generational thing where, and I think you guys mentioned it, where a lot of people in the past, when they married into other cultures, it was to get away from whatever culture, whatever race or people that they were around. Right? They're always a group of people who don't want to be associated with whatever group because they're in the so-called ghetto, whatever they classify as a ghetto of that. So it'd be ghetto Hispanic, they want to marry white. It'd be ghetto black, they want to marry white. It'd be ghetto this, they want to marry something else other than what they. And I have friends from high school, same group, same program I was just telling you about. I have a bunch of black friends who they do that. They're happy to be the token. They don't. Black woman, I don't. whatever, those type of losers, right? Those cornballs, right?
You keep making this. Why you keep making it?
And
Why,
what they
Hey, yo, Gilmore, stop talking about me like that, bro.
yo, Gamble
Nah, I
keep
know,
making
it's
making the voice,
but what
man.
they do
It's
is
killing
that,
me.
and what they do is that they disassociate themselves so much that when they actually have children, right? They don't want to sit there and tell their children. They don't tell children, hey, directly, hey, hate black people, but they say certain things. I've seen this with Caribbean people. I've even seen it with Nigerian people. My own family, where I have to sit there and tell them, like, well, you're in this country. Why don't you go back to Nigeria? It's so beautiful back there. And it's slowly some of these people start to see it's like, all right, when they start to get treated just like so yeah, and they don't teach their children. So now they have these children where it's just, oh yeah, you have a good life. Why are you complaining? I had it hard. You have a good life. You're no longer with those ghetto black people. You should be happy. But they don't teach these people about heritage or culture or anything because they don't identify with that. So basically, their kids are just stuck in this quagmire of, all right, I'm here because my father or my mother want to get away, but they don't have no pride in whatever the hell they are.
Mhm.
And so but I have this white mom or white dad who's not going to sit here and tell me, yeah, white supremacy, be white, because they're looking at a mixed kid like I can't tell them that crap. And I've messed with somebody who's of that ilk. So how can I say and be this ultra? Yes, white people. This so they're just stuck there as like these like stuck in the mud. Like they can't get out. So they, like you said, they struggle with identity. And then when they listen to music, or like you said, they live in a mansion, but they come to school. And we had this in Wilton too. We had something called I don't know if they do in your school, Isaiah, but they had something called border crossings. And you had some kids, and it was basically they bring in kids from like, they have kids, it'll be a class, right? But there's a class at the Norwalk High School, but they bring in kids from different areas, and we just talk about experiences of the BS, right? And like you said, you have kids who try to be, you have kids who try to be hard and all this stuff, and it's like, bro, you live in freaking a nice house in Stanford. You live in Wilton. You live in Darien. Like,
let me share this other story with you, and this is about my cousin. So my cousin, right? He grew up in this story. It sticks with me so much of what just happened. So my cousin, he grew up just like me. Grew up in the suburbs. Grew up, both parents. Dude used to listen to heavy metal, watch anime. This kid would get everything. This was the first kid I knew that had like a PS3, Xbox 360, and a Nintendo Wii. Parents gave him everything he wanted. Spoiled. He didn't even have to work. You know what I'm saying? All that. So, the neighborhood he grew up with, because the neighborhood that he lived in, it started getting a little more hood, more black people moved over to that area, and it got
They don't mean it had to be hood, but
it was the borderline of New Haven from where that was. So, a lot of more black people moved over there, and so he got, quote unquote, he got more hooder. And as sure as you were telling about your friend that was like tattooed and all this Sigma getting in the fights. Now my cousin, getting tatted up, grew some dreads. He wanted to start robbing people. So long story short, he started robbing people. He shot somebody by accident. Now he had to do 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
His 5 years of his life is gone because he wanted to not be grateful for the things that he had. Mind you, he did not have to rob people. He didn't grow up in a neighborhood where it was like, I gotta rob people so I can eat. He just robbed people because he was bored. And he wanted to fit in with all the other people around that neighborhood that had to do it. So he went to jail for doing something he didn't have to do. To spend 5 years of his life. Now, he has a daughter outside and that, she has to see him through bars and stuff. And it's like he did all this just to fit in. He went to jail.
Lucky he only got 5.
yeah.
Well, bro, let me tell you something though. The only reason why the judge didn't give him more time, and the judge literally said it. The judge was an old white dude. He was cool as hell because of the support system that we have for him, bro. Every time he had a court hearing, our side of the family
was there.
Our side of the family was there. You know what the judge said to him? He said, and I promise you this is what he said to him. He said, "Yo, I go through kids your age all the time."
mm-hmm.
He said, usually when there's kids like you, there's nobody on their side. Their mother's not there, their father's not there, nobody's on their side. But he was like, yo, you're different. Your whole family's here. He said, I understand why they do it. I don't understand why you did it.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm giving you 5 years because I'm teaching you a lesson.
Yep.
And it was like,
Huh?
yo, that when I tell you, bro, I was stuck when he said that because I'm like, yo, that's crazy. He told me like, dudes his age, there's nobody on their side. They just go to court. He just give them the time. But he was like, yo, you got a whole support system. You got pastors coming in here talking, you know, how good you are. You got people in the church saying how good you are. He's like, I just don't understand why you did what you did.
There's a plethora of kids stuck in the system like that, man. It's once you
Yeah.
go through that force system. My mom's a co-worker, a social worker. Man, if I could tell you the stories of that, man, it's very sad, man. But
hey,
I know, man.
Gambo, you don't
I
even have
grew
to tell
up
me,
in the
man.
system, man.
I've worked in a juvenile detention center. I've been a case manager for however many years. I've seen it from the top to the bottom.
Which one did you work in, Sam?
I worked. It was a place called Family Advocacy. So it was a step down. It was a step down program where when someone came from, there was a place called Cheltenham in Baltimore. There's a place called Boys Village, and they would step to our program. And when they came to our program, they was still under 24-hour care, 24-hour watch, but it started to try to push them back out into the community, right? So they would come to us. They'd either
so it was
stay,
like a non-secure detention?
yeah, kind of like that. So they would stay
NSD,
they would stay in a foster home or a group home, right? And then from there, they would go to school, and then we pick them up from school and bring them back to our facility, which was a locked facility for the day. All right, and then they'd go through group sessions. They'd have some recreation time. They'd have whatever they would have, and then we'd bring them back to either the group home or the foster home. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I working with these kids, you see, I mean, all kinds of experiences from the top to the bottom, man. Everything. And some of them were good kids that came through. Some of them were, a lot of them, most of them were really good kids that came through. Just got caught up in some craziness at home. And even some kids who came from good households, man. Because even just, you know, just because somebody has a support system or has, you know, the mother and the father has all these things that most people would say, well, why are you doing these things? Because you got a support system. You don't know what happened within that household. You really don't. Yeah. You can have a mother and a father, but the father could be beating the mother and the children. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what happens, and then what the scarring effects and the lifelong effects that happens to those. That leads the kids to doing some of the things that you say, why are you doing that? Your mother's a lawyer, your father's a doctor. Why are you doing these things? But you don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Most messed up
you don't know.
And you know what Sim, you know you're getting that, right? That we don't talk about mental issues in the black community, man.
That's 100%
We
true.
have a plethora. And you know what's amazing? How we're depicted, right? In terms of, you know, and I guess this goes to Queen Slim, maybe in a vague way in terms of stereotypes and stuff. And there was a report by doctors who said, you know, the reason why we weren't prescribed a lot of these opiates was because black people were seen as people who could withstand pain, right? When people were coming to doctors, like, you know, even mothers, you know, women would go to doctors, I'm having pains here and this, and like, you know, this cancer was, yeah, just do this, don't worry about it. Because they're just seen as this, you know, figure of brute strength and whatnot. So it's like, yeah, we got a lot of issues, and we got, you know, kids are being if I could tell you the stories, the disgusting story. My mom, Nigerian people just don't care. Like, my mom was telling me stories when I was like 7, 8, where she'd just come home and tell me what happened in her case, where you had kids who they'll be with the mother gets a boyfriend, the boyfriend will go and sexually abuse the kids.
Yep.
The kids had to get not to be vulgar, this is not even trying to be funny, but she told me a story where a son and a daughter had to get their stomachs pumped because of that's we have so much of that, and I don't know if you ever guys, I wish you could break it down the front stoop. There's a video, like Instagram video or some social media, where the daughter was coming down trying to tell her mother about the boyfriend trying to sexually abuse her, like trying to come into a bedroom, and the mother was basically,
I saw that,
going after the child, talking about, well, you shouldn't have been wearing shorts. And she's like, I'm at home. Like, what? And basically the mother, because she wanted a man so badly, was willing to allow the boyfriend to abuse her. And this goes back to what Kareem said. When you don't have proper fathers in the home, a lot of these, I'm sorry, I didn't grow up with a father. I had my father till I was like 10, but he wasn't a strong father in the household. I'll tell you this, I had a cousin who My cousin grew up with his father. Great father, great mom, great father. I don't care what no one says, bro. We all come situations where we're more exceptions to the rule in terms of how we turned out.
Mhm.
But when you have a father in the home, I don't care what no one says, especially when you have boys, he teaches them self-validation. He even teaches the woman, I forget even the boys, the woman too. A lot of these women, they seek out these predators or they get attracted or whatever. They lean to these predators because they don't have strong father figures at home. I'm sorry. What I've seen, my cousin right now, she ain't one of these, she could have been one of those, whole thoughts or whatever. But because she had a strong father that told her self-validation, self-worth, she don't even considers that type of stuff, man.
But it has to be has to be strong though, because if it's not,
I said strong.
It has to be strong because just having a father at home doesn't mean that it's strong. Because especially
1,000%.
when you talk about a woman, a young lady, because that's the first man that she sees. That's the first man that she has a relationship with, the father.
Agreed.
And if that father is someone who abuses her mentally and emotionally, abuses her mother, right? Then that's the idea that she gets of a man. And then when she goes out, that's the type of man she will probably find. And not only that, like you said, a young lady is going to get her, the way that she respects herself. She's going to get it from her father. Yes, she's going to get it from her mother too. But obviously, a young man is looking for a woman. A young woman is looking for a man. And the way that she respects herself is going to be taught to her by the way that her father respects her mother and the way that her father respects her. So if she sees that her father is constantly beating her or beating her mother and, cheating on her mother and, not being a man, that's the idea that she gets of what a man is. And it's going to reflect in how she feels about herself. You know what I mean? So it can't just be, it's not just having a mother and a father at home. It's got to be strong. It's got to be strong, because if it's not strong, it can do more damage having a father or a mother, it could be a mother too, right, in the home that is mentally, emotionally, physically abusive than not having that person in the home at all. You know what I mean?
100% agree with you.
Yeah, and but all that goes, like Guillermo was saying, when you talk about mental health issues in the black community, man, it runs deep, and black people are afraid to go and seek it out.
Sam, let me say this though, Sam.
But it really is needed that, not of course not all black people, you know what I'm saying, but those who need it, it really is important that they go seek it out, because let's just say, Isaiah, let's say you had bipolar disorder, right? And you had children. And your children see you up and down and all over the place. They may not have bipolar disorder, but they do acquire learned behaviors where they see you up and down and all over the place and doing manic depressive stuff and things like that. They take on that personality. They may not have been born with that. It may not have came down to them, but because they see the behavior, they pick up your behavior. You know what I mean? And black people don't get that and understand that all the time.
Hey, Simba, let me say this though. So let me say this, man, which I think is really important, is that, you know what? I love now. Maybe it should have been happening, but now people are taking their mental health seriously, especially the black community. They're taking it very seriously. And let me even clarify this. We should all go to therapy. Not even if you don't think you don't need it, it's good to talk to somebody that doesn't know you, that there's not bias against you. There's no bias against you, that that it's good just to clear your mental thoughts with somebody. It's not about, the stigmatism that
but I think you can do that with your homeboy. You can do that with your friend. I'm talking about like serious, chronic depression.
But therapy is not all of just
mental imbalances. We don't.
But here's the thing, though. And Guillermo too, and you do talk to your homies about having these conversations. But therapy isn't about just the extremes. Like it's not about the extremes. I think that's
I agree. But you don't have to pay for a therapist. Sometimes you just need to get some stuff off your chest. You can call your man up and just let it go, and then it's gone. You know what I'm saying? When it becomes chronic, that's when you're like, okay, maybe now I need to really
Yo, oh God,
go take it. But let's lighten the mood a little bit because we going
You
like
talking about this
Yo,
Fat Joe album?
Sim, you play video games, Sim?
yeah I do. I haven't because my Xbox is broke. I don't know, that joint won't even
Ew.
turn
Yo,
on.
you
So
still ain't
remember?
fix- you still ain't-
Y'all
so you still ain't
remember
fix that thing?
nah.
Y'all
Sim plays
remember the
Xbox?
joint that just came out? What was that joint called? Let me check my drink. I got it. I'm gonna say. It's
Hey
crazy the way
Gammo,
they
why
be
are you
doing
shaking
things.
your head? Because I play Xbox.
I got
though.
an Xbox too, though.
I could have told Sim was an Xbox dude. You don't really.
I got an
Do you
Xbox.
what do you
most
play?
people I know got
PS4?
an Xbox.
PS4, man. Only thing I really play is FIFA like that,
yeah,
man.
Okay,
the
all right.
Ghost,
Well,
the
you
new
know.
Ghost Recon game. Sim, you know that joint went down to $20 already.
Ghost Recon is 20.
I don't think it did that well. It probably didn't do that well.
Really?
That
For
stupid
real?
big controller. What's wrong with y'all, man?
You crazy? Look at
Man,
my
whatever,
controller,
man.
man. My dialing, man.
Wait, Sam, what you was about to talk
Don't
about
be
before?
like
You
that.
about to say something before that.
I'm gonna get the P5 though. I ain't playing.
But my Xbox is out, so I'm just waiting till the new whatever comes out instead of buying another one.
You will get
Oh,
that
that
Xbox
big ass
25?
PC, Xbox, that fake PC.
I say y'all had to make it look doofy, right?
I didn't even see it. Hold on. I didn't even see it. Hold
PlayStation
on.
5 look
Bro,
fire.
it looked like a PC, Guillermo. It looked just like a
Yeah,
PC.
it looks like a PC.
Bro, it look
Basically,
like
it is a PC.
Too, like an old HP.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, this is stupid.
Basically.
It look
But it's
like
supposed to be
Why?
powerful
But the
though. It's supposed to be
P5
mad powerful
The
though.
P5 look fire though.
It's supposed to
The
be mad
P5,
powerful
yo,
though.
the PlayStation
P5
always
look
look good.
pissed.
though.
Wait, which one is the new
Facts.
PS5? This one with the U thing?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Sim, can I
Tell
say
me.
something though?
It's
That's
on
a
that
whole
shit
side
like
note,
Donkey
Sim.
Kong, bro.
What you say, Isaiah?
Yo,
Sam,
Sim,
we about to mute you.
Yo, so we gotta start spending this money, man. My man French Montana spent $2 million on a 10-year-old Bugatti, man. What are we
Look,
doing?
I ain't
Bro,
even. Listen,
he
That's
that,
rocking,
French
bro.
Montana. He ain't.
Whatever.
He's from Algeria. Some
From
crazy.
Yeah.
Morocco.
so
Yeah,
hey,
he's.
all right.
But he
Let's
grew
talk
up
about
in,
this Fat Joe
in
album
my
though,
Haven
real
Project.
quick. Did anybody
The
get a
who?
chance to listen to it at all?
I
Fat
like
Joe's
I
new
like
album.
the Fat Joe album. I liked it.
Oh, Fat Joe. I didn't listen.
Hey, his name's Slim Joe now.
This guy, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you the
Oh,
truth.
yo, I like.
Gastric bypass Joe.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it.
I didn't
I
like
ain't
Drake
even
rapping.
hear it,
though.
so
I
I
didn't
can't
like
give
that
a.
Drake
I
rapping.
can't give.
I
a,
didn't like Dre rapping. He was on
review
almost
on
every
it.
song. I wasn't feeling it.
Oh, from Cool and Dre, right?
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it. Oh.
Fat Joe.
It's
He's
lackluster
probably
to
struggling
me.
for money because I don't know.
I ain't gonna lie to you though. That song with him, Mary J, and Eminem, that one was fire. That was a good song.
I didn't think so. I thought Eminem. I didn't even think Eminem sounded good on it. I was
Wait,
highly
him,
disappointed.
who, and him? Wait, Fat Joe, Eminem, and who?
Mary
Mary
J.
J.
Blige.
That's not a good cut. Yo,
I
these
don't.
dudes they just doing songs to do songs now. Come on, man. Like,
and you
Mary-
know what? What makes it even more disappointing for me is that Fat Joe. He was like, I haven't dropped a classic yet. I don't have that defining album. This is gonna be my defining album.
The
Far
best album
from
was
it.
the Terror Squad album.
Far from it, bro. This was not a good album to me. He tried,
and their time has come. And if they're not, Fat Joe was a hit maker. Like in terms of he became that.
Singles, right?
Yeah, singles, right? If he's not making some stupid thing that you could lean back or do something stupid to, or just recite, all the way up some corny line, it's not. Fat Joe's not a classic album maker. And like I said, like we had before, so you cannot.
So you saying Don
time.
Cartagena ain't a classic?
No, but what I'm saying is that you cannot. Well, he's not a typical classic maker.
You mean like consistently, right? Yeah, I got you.
But what I'm trying to say is that you cannot plan to say I'm gonna make a classic and make a classic.
You
A
can't.
classic, there's like a
Yeah.
there's a
This has to
clash
happen. It
of
has to
perfect
happen.
things that come. So timing,
That's
hype,
facts.
you coming at the new paradigm of a new art form, right?
yeah.
That's why like Future when he came out with Dirty Sprite 2, oh my gosh, everybody thought it was a classic. But if he tries to come out with Dirty Sprite 2, say if he tried to come out now where the whole industry is saturated with lean, and it would be like, oh, okay, all right, fine.
I ain't gonna lie to you. March Madness was probably one of his best shits he ever made.
Yeah, no. March Madness is hot. Like 2016, whatever. March Madness is tough, but it's like you cannot plan to make a classic. Like the only person that came close to doing that, and he didn't really plan it. It's just that, he said he was good. Like everybody's just waiting for the album, and then he came out with Nas with Illmatic because he was on Live at the Barbecue. He killed it. Everybody, the industry is like, oh, who's this kid? Nas, he's the new Rakim. He's the new Coogee rat. Like. then he came out with the album. He had all these producers, and it was a perfect clap. But he was right at the tip of like, if he waited any longer, it's not gonna be a classic. But so Fat Joe, Fabulous said the same thing.
I don't think Nas even said to himself though, I'm gonna make a classic. I think it just happened.
No, but Nas didn't say. I said that Nas didn't say, but everybody was waiting for the album.
Right.
He didn't come, like when 50 Cent came out with Get Rich or Die Trying, which I think is a classic. Whether you like him or not, is a classic. You didn't feel like 50 Cent was a guy who was an underground guy, Power of a Dollar, and he came out with all these mixtapes. And I was like, all right, maybe he might come out with something. It might, sound
Yo, bro,
when he came out with Wanksta, that captured the streets. When he came out with In the Club, that captured everybody. So I was like, all right, this guy, he got it. That's
bro. You know what's crazy about In the Club, yo? I never heard a beat like that before. Everything was crazy, bro. It was like,
I don't care what nobody say, and people can take this how they think. I ain't never seen a hotter start, a debut like 50 Cent. I don't think we'll ever see that again. Not like how 50 Cent did.
Guess we will, bro. My album coming out. It's called Gumshoes and Fools, bro.
Let's take a listen. I want to take a listen. Isaiah said he liked the Eminem joint.
Said Gunshoes.
I said if the fifth come out.
It's called Lord Above.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I like the Eminem one.
Okay, I'm gonna play it.
Outside in the corner.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play the Eminem joint. Right, cool. It's called Lord Above.
I made the beats on that album too, right? Some don't be jacking my name.
It's called Lord Above. It's featuring Eminem and Mary J. Blige. I'm gonna play that joint right now. This is Fat Joe featuring Eminem.
It's gonna be some
and Mary J. Blige right here. I mean, some of the beats is dope though. I ain't gonna front. Some of the beats is dope.
Yeah. You can't hate on this beat. You can't hate on this.
New timepieces when these fools deny Jesus. Hate is a sin, dog. Be real. I got my hand on the pump. You on Twitter in your feels. Throwing subs, arguing with chicks. For these niggas, same hands that I hustle with. Passing the offering place, I'm the preacher in foreign whips. Sermons and politics, miracles come with each and every flip.
Rap. That nigga can't rap.
Zero, so heaven sent, immaculate blessings from Mary. I reminisce on days we was broke. All we had was some common sense. Last night I had a nightmare, I was at the stove. I woke up in Paris, cooking up for hoes. That's why I thank the Lord for giving me this life. And even when I'm gone, the music keeping us alive. Yeah, it's called Forever, Ever, 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 Family Ties.
Yeah. I'm so grateful. All I need is love.
G6 Globals, who the thunk it from the projects. 8 balls from Poppy, when it dunked it in the Pyrex. Mischievous thoughts, foreseeing the sauce. Toe Montana in the Jeep, Chicky Poo in the Porsche. The Frank Sinatra, the Spanish monsters. We the Jimmy's Cafe, ain't no need for operas. Had the fiend scream hallelujah, fuck the prosecutor. Gave my nigga 50 years and he was not the shooter. When they see us, solitary confinement. Dig deep in your mind, no pressure, no diamonds. So we live a life, drop 100 at the ferry. My chick from San Fran, but stay out my Bay Area. You salute the cross, or you rebuke the cross. Either way, you meet the Lord when you get moved across. Death knocking at your door, got you squeezing handle. And you ain't seeing God till you staring down a barrel.
Man, I'm not gonna front. I do like the beat though. I think the beat is. I think it's a tough beat. I think the beat is pretty hot.
I'm sitting here reminiscing. Think I just got a light bulb. Something I'd like to mention. This is just on a side note. Word to the Terror Squad, Joe. This is all puns aside, though. I know me and Mariah didn't end on a high note. But that other dude's whip, that pussy got him neutered. Tried to tell him this chick's a nut job before he got his jewels clipped. Almost got my caboose kicked. Fool quit, you're not gonna do shit. I let her chop my balls off too before I lost to you, Nick. I should quit watching news clips. Yeah, my balls are too big. I should be talking pool, cause I got scratched. So my pocket's full and I'm taking shots at you. Fuck it, let me chalk the cue stick. I'm over the top like Cool Whip. And I promise you the day I fall off or lose it, I will stop and cut off the music. Opportunist, wanna kill shit every chance that I got to do this. Stacking my guap, savage, I'm not to fool with like a handgun. You could say I'm like a gat when it's cocked. I keep it a Your ass will get shot. If rap was an actual Glock, you'd act like you're strapped when you're not. Only cap that you pop is the top on the can of your pop. You the man till I pop your top. You ain't jack in a box. And I ain't talking the hamburger spot, cracker with the barrel, arm to the teeth.
I don't know. I mean, I see, some people in the chat say that, they thought Eminem's verse was tight, this and that, whatever. I didn't see anything special about it.
What does that have to do with the song, the whole First of all, can I just say something about Cool and Dre? That sound was very mid-2000-ish whenever they did the kind of like introspective song. You had a nice little sample at the beginning. There's too much drums and too much stuff going around that beat. Build off what you had in the beginning with that sample that made you kind of bobby it like a reminiscent type beat. Build off that man. It's like, dude, what are you? Eminem is talking about.
First things first. Let's start with this though.
They didn't know how to make beats.
Please tell a producer just to produce. Stop rapping, bro.
I agree. When he said forever, ever. First of all, Sim, what makes me mad about this song? This feels like a song where everybody did their verses like 5 years ago or 7 years ago, and Fat Joe was just looking for something to put on.
And just doing it together.
You could just tell they didn't even know that was put on the song. They're like, oh crap, did he put on this song? None of what Dre, Fat Joe, and what Eminem, it didn't mesh like. What the hell? Like, there was no underlying theme. When you listen to Life's a Bitch by Nas and AZ, they're on the same mind frame, different styles, beautiful. You hear this song, you're like, what the? And Eminem,
Yo, Gilmo, but you got to think about this, though, bro. They probably weren't even in the same studio.
Right.
No, I know, exactly. I agree. A lot of these guys are just
now it's verses. You just send the Pro Tools file.
Eminem, I think Eminem needs to retire. Eminem is a talented rapper. He's not my top 5 or top 10. He's a talented ass rapper. He gets put up there because he's white. I understand. But the fire, man. I used to listen to Eminem on Infinite, Murder, My Mind State. I used to listen to Eminem Slim Shady EP when he was the Outsiders. I used to be an Eminem fan. Trust me. I know. I used to know all that stuff. He needs to retire. Sometimes when it's just like, you can just feel the life source is no longer in the rapper. Just hang it up. You did good. Do your little concerts and just eat off the money. Your residuals, you're good, Eminem. But
I never was a big fan. I was like, okay, he's all right. It's cool. I never was this huge Eminem fan. And the music just never struck a chord with me like that.
Yeah, because they always talk about killing his mom. And
So I'm going to play the first track on the album. It's called Projects. Even the first track, I thought I was expecting something different when I heard it. You know what I mean? So this is it. It's called Projects right here.
On some real sweet shit. Where you ain't gotta hold your tongue. Know what I mean? What's the deal?
Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the projects. Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the projects. Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the projects. Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the jacks. No apologies for my fresh behavior. No preachers, the church has can save ya. Shots ring out, you get stretched and laid up. Streets got drugs, guns, and sex for sale. So forgive me, I'm a nigga from the projects. Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the projects. Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the projects. Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the jacks.
Forgive me, I'm a Millie from the projects. Drip team, triple beam, and the Pyrex. Suicide, it's a suicide. All these lights above my head, why are you surprised? Every floor in my building got a precious. Now I'm gripping on the ice inside the precious. Get my movie on in that Louis Vuitton. Let my bitch make your bitch look like precious. And I ain't never trust no chick. If she working at the club, then that's not your bitch. All my niggas got Scarface static, got hitters on deck, and they not gon' miss.
Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the projects. Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the projects. Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the projects. Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the jacks. No apologies for my fresh behavior. No preachers, the church has can save ya. Shots ring out, you get stretched and laid up. Streets got drugs, guns, and sex for sale. So forgive me, I'm a nigga from the projects. Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the projects. Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the projects. Forgive me, I'm a nigga from the checks. Forgive me, I'm a nigga out the projects. From where they pick out all the NFL prospects. Either you rich or you poor with simple concepts. So cooking up or toting the rock equals some progress. But these days you gotta watch what you post. Trying to speak truth to power, get you shot like ghosts. Whoa, but fuck it, I'm a nigga out the ghetto. And when all else fails, you start hustling the Holy Ghost. Sure, you wanna be owners on them corners. Freezing cold on beaches.
I mean, you know, I guess it's all right. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't anything that blew me away. It made me like, oh yeah, this is dope. It was all right. I don't know. The album is pretty underwhelming to me, man. Isaiah, what you think, man? Yeah, I mean, you said you like it, so what you think?
I didn't listen to the album like that album.
You trying to front. So you came out, you said, oh yeah, it's dope. Oh, you said I like it. It was a cool album. Now you like, oh, I didn't listen to it.
Nah, I didn't like it. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I would say this though, that someone pointed out. Someone was like, when did Fat Joe ever really like rap? I was like, damn, that's kind of true.
When did he actually rap? He rap on was it not Twins? What the hell's
Twins. The remake of the Dr. Dre joint.
Fat Joe actually used to be like a woke rapper. Like back in the day, he used to be all about like that pro-black. You know, when Puerto Rican, when Latin Kings, also thought they were black.
You're talking about the deep cover joint.
Yeah, like Fat Joe used to actually be like so-called woke. Now he's talking about he's a dude from the projects. Whatever.
But you know what that song is though, bro? That's just something for a chick to twerk to and dudes to blast in their cars, bro.
It's trying to be a hood anthem, and it's just not. I'm not really.
But now he should have dropped that in the summertime. They would have been playing it just cause they've been in the projects. They've been in the projects. They're just twerking on the gram for the projects.
I'm the projects, and you have some white girl twerking in front of Marcy like that.
What's the Catch Me Outside?
Yeah, you see them new memes, bro?
Oh my gosh, Brooklyn is done. Oh my gosh, I can't even. The projects now are just nice condos that people are building up.
Man. I mean, I don't know. It was pretty underwhelming to me. You know what I mean? So I don't even want to listen to it.
Sim, I know you don't like him because he on his pimp-ish and he's from the old school New York flow. But can someone just put Richard Gere on from Rock Marciano? Give respect to the guy Rock Marcy, man. Y'all just. I don't like the disrespect y'all give to him, man. Y'all play Fabulous's old or corny crap. Y'all play Fat Joe's corny crap, man. Like
you talking about
Rock Marcy? Y'all got respect for my dude Freddie Gibbs with bandana. Like, what's wrong with y'all, man?
Said that? Whoever said that? We talk about a new album that came out this month.
I just feel disrespect, man. Like,
he mad at you, Sim. Guillermo mad at you.
We playing. I'm a nigga from the projects. Like, come on, Sim. What type of corny?
But nah,
all we doing is reviewing.
This some Julius Randle music. That's why you suck, man.
What's that, Julius Randle? Chill, don't do that.
All we doing is reviewing it.
You see Julius Randle got his white wife.
Now he probably crap. I was gonna say listen to Teddy Pendergrass, but
Sim, I know.
Yeah, but he be like,
I'm talking. This is the problem with brothers. You don't have no respect for each other. But look, Sim, I want to know you could do a show because, like, I think. Can you do a show where we could play our own music and everybody rate it?
I'm with it. That's part of what I'm with it. That's what I want to do.
Music. I'm sitting on. You crazy? I'm sitting on fire. Piff.
It better be fire, bro. Because
look. When I recorded,
that shit about to be doodle.
When I recorded, bro, check this out. When I recorded,
that nigga gonna be.
Hey, watch your mouth. Hey, Isaiah, watch your mouth, man.
Look. But look though, Sam, look. When I recorded it, right? You a hater. You got your little sister sheets on your bed, bro. Stop. What I was saying. When I recorded the album, right? Except it was so hot, the fire department had to come rescue me out the booth. The sprinklers went off. I'm talking about. I pulled my cheeseburger out the stash, and I was like, "It been one, bro. We got a banger here." It was a vegan burger, by the way. A vegan pork burger. All right. Salami and bacon. I eat my salami and bacon. You crazy, but that's fire though. That's a classic song. Don't do that to them. When I go to the store, I see all the whores, and they be like, "Well, we get it on the floor." I'm in the projects like.
That's it. That's
I'm
your
in the
album.
projects, right?
Is that what your album's gonna sound like though?
Woo-ha. Got you all in chat.
Nah,
But bro, but
we
they
can do
was
that
talking
though.
about the hood in that song. That's how this is the South Bronx back in the 70s. Did you see pictures of it?
Yeah, Bronx.
God,
Well, Bronx
bro,
now is still not glamorous.
Nah, bro, I live. It's a lot of vacant lots around, bro. That's why I said with Fat Joke talking about the project, you go to Forest right now, bro. It's crazy. It ain't nice over. It ain't re-gentrified over there yet. I used to go to school.
What?
I used to go to school across.
What's a good hood, like a good hood album or a good hood song where the new kids resonate and it's talking about like the trials and tribulations of living in the hood?
My album, bro.
All right, besides Kareem's album, what's another from a known artist?
Bro, the top 5 rappers right now: Kareem, and Kareem.
All right, so who are the bottom 5 rappers?
Go give me a cheesecake then.
Isaiah.
I guess the hood dudes the dudes who talk about the hood now, like Pop Smoke and all these.
Bro, every beat he has is a drill beat, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Drill beat.
Yeah, it's all drill beat.
I'm like,
man. That's just
but you know how he getting them? No, he got that deep voice, and it works. Like, it works.
Because he also Panamanian. You know, Panamanian people, they're like they black, but they're like a different, like more violent type of black people. Like
they'll chop your head off with a machete.
Yo, all Panamanian people, like Uncle Murder, they all like just straight hitters. Like, yo, dude, like what the? It's like a different type of black. I don't know.
Yeah, what's Panamanians in Brooklyn, bro?
What's a good song right now that kids listen to that's like about the hood?
The Baby Shark song, bro.
Welcome to the Party by Pop Smoke.
Word.
Welcome to the party.
See, I don't really listen to that.
Lean. That's why I'm moving retarded. Like, I heard someone. I was walking through where was I? I was walking through not Times Square. What's the one on 34th Street? Penn State.
yeah, it's something Penn Station. Yeah.
Union. Yeah, whatever the hell is on 34th Street on the west side.
Penn Station.
And I heard these 2 girls playing Pop Smoke, and my cousin's ignorant, so he just loves that type of music. And I saw these 2 girls like blasting a song. I'm like, and I have the song, but I'm like, they like it like that. Like I didn't know that's like the new music.
Yo, bro, but bro, it's so bad now though, bro. That because I make beats like the project I did, I produced it and all of that. But now, like when people want when people, that's all people are asking for now. It's like everybody want to be trendy, bro. The sound's going to change next year, bro.
All right, so
but
I got a young man I'm going to play for you right now.
Every year, though. You can say that every year.
What you said, son?
I got a young man I'm going to play for you right now. All right. I work with him.
Kareem John? All right, cool.
His name is Q Nice. He lives in Atlanta now.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
Oh, you talking about Q Nice from Atlanta?
Nah, you don't know what I'm talking about.
Kareem was trying to play him.
You don't know what I'm talking about. Nah, this is him. I think he's about 25 years old right now.
Yeah.
All right. Still making music.
NBA young boy.
I produced this album with him. This song right here is called NWA. All right.
Well, you made the beat. Son, we got a collab, bro.
You gotta
jack if you think you New Jersey driving me crazy.
Let me rewind this for you.
You lazy, my mind. Me and my boys in the hood being a menace to society. You got it jacked if you think you New Jersey driving me crazy. You lazy, my mind searches for higher learning. Unlike you, on your Friday ritual of fire burning, I'm the new jack in this city. I got the juices. You with me or is you ain't? Every sinner can be a saint, whether you roll up dank or you pour up drink. Or on the chase for more money to blow it all like in a players club or go to a house party 1 through 4. Every week until you weak, everybody can't be the class act. And everybody can't have poetic justice to fall in love or gridlocked into the substance that makes us all come back, all run laps, all sit back and go to the wash to get fresh and take the pain away. It's a low down dirty shame. That's why I tell you don't be a menace while drinking your juice in the hood, because OG Bobby Johnson might put a potato on that barrel and smoke your ass in South Central or in Uptown NYC and leave Detective JC and Detective Torres on a case in New York undercover. So before you try to be a gangster from the 90s, look what happened to Ricky and ask yourself, would that be the outcome of your history? Nigga.
Nigga rapping like I could bring Dell up out of hell, sitting in the cell, waking up to a pill, holding the mill, rapping like I could bring Pop back, grandma back, ensemble back, carry back, cause mama ain't deserved that. Rapping like I got bills to pay with no place to stay. It's Friday and Tuesday's the last time I ate. Rapping like I deserve a Grammy, fuck that a family with a fair shot at life without a tech, not handy. Rap like I could bring back the troops in Iraq. Shit, in all the places they don't need to be at. Tell Bush that I'm the bomb, see how he react. Cause when I blow, the government gon' Patriot Act. Started rapping and bought Pop back. 9-4, Nas back, Big L back. And I'm reviving rap. A nigga rapping like Payne is his last name without a T in sight. This ain't shit sweet, alright? I'm sick and tired of bullshit. I'm gon' prosper and clean up my act. No soap operas, just the days of our lives being taped on clockers. Ain't never had shit. I'm taking back what's out. What you are, you been what you been. You shit what you eat, watch what you take in. You are what you consume, don't let it consume you. Stay focused, get money, your credit is soon due. You are what you are, and you been what you been. You shit what you eat, watch what you take in. You are what you consume, don't let it consume you. Stay focused, get money, the credit soon due. It's soon due, nigga. It's soon due, nigga. Nigga, what an attitude. It's all cool, nigga.
That dude's name is Q Nice. I got a whole album with him. I got a whole album.
Produce that joint though.
What'd you say?
Would you use to produce it?
We used MPC Studio.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I see you got the joint because I see you had the MPC.
I got a MPC Studio, and then I also got the new joint. Joint costs a grip too. Costs like.
Oh, you talking about the MPC Live, right?
Nah, it's the sitting right here. I can't even think of the name. It's the X, MPC X.
Oh, MPC X, yeah. The Live is a smaller one.
You got the
MPC X,
it's
the big
X,
boy.
It got the screen on it. It's crazy.
Big boy. Yo, you ever use the machine, son?
Nah, I never used it. I've always been a Kai person. I use Fruity Loops every once in a while.
Yeah, me too. FL gang, I hear them keys in there. What you use, Nexus?
Huh?
I said I heard the keys. It sounded like they was on a Nexus VST or something like that.
He does not sound like Mike Geronimo.
But he's nice, man. He like me and him. We sit down, we collaborate on making beats. He could do. He's super
you
uber
can't rap,
talented,
bro. We're not sending you no beats.
He is super uber talented,
bad.
man. He can do almost whatever he wants.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. His problem is he's so talented and creative. He can't stay focused.
Yeah,
like he be all over the place. He'll start one project and then just move on to something else. You know what I mean? And never finish a project up.
That's not good.
But I want to ask your opinion and stuff because this is what I feel like the big, like, first of all, Fat Joe, right? He said that he want to make a classic album, bro. We not in the classic era. We in the microwave era right now. Nothing's gonna be a classic. It's so much shit out. Yo, do you know that every week there's 6,000 songs published? Over 6,000 songs, just through direct-to-consumer, internet. So this is not even that era. You could, what people you could hope for now is you could be number one the whole year. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's it's hard to find a balance of. Like I feel like it's hard to find a balance of lyricism along with a great song.
Mm-hmm.
That balance is like really hard to acquire.
Right. We also have to take into account we got very fortunate that the what's the name era, the sampling era, because a lot of those samples, let's be honest, like if you listen to where these samples came from, those songs were intricately made, the instrumentals and stuff. So when you don't have that anymore, because again, it was easier, I think, for guys like when Jay-Z rhymes and to Can't Knock the Hustle with Mary J. Blige, she was basically singing to is it Angela Winbush? I can't remember the damn.
Yeah.
I'm taking out this time.
Yeah, give you.
So she's basically singing to that, but she's singing to a slower beat, and it's like a lot of the stuff for us. Let's be honest, was actually ready made in terms of the music theory and how to sing to. All we had to do is just tweak it. And then
bro,
rap.
you see what you just said though, bro. Music theory. That's what.
It's dead. It's dead.
When samples got killed. These kids don't know they don't know anything about major, minor scale, so they just basically they just putting sounds together for, you know what I'm saying?
Like I listened to this song Amazes, like the beat I fell in love with, Swiss Beats. He it's not on that new album he made, but it's on something else. It's called no, actually, yeah, it is on that album, the one with Echo with Nas. It's the one with it got the Locks and Kendrick. It's called Something Dirty or something like that. So it's called Something Dirty, right? If you listen to the sample, I'm more in love with the sample than the actual song. Is a sample by Gap Mangione. I can't pronounce his last name. Gap, Mangione. If you listen to that sample, you're like, come on, man. Like what they were thinking about, especially in the 70s.
McGowan, yeah.
It's like, and he had another sample too. I think it was Jay Dilla or Madlib Barrow too. I can't remember the song, but it's like, damn, man, those guys back then, they did a lot of the hard work for us in terms of music theory and getting the proper stuff down. And we respect it because look, the beats were hot, and then we just tweaked it. Nowadays, I give the kids credit, even though they are sound the same now. It's very mono in terms of everything sound the same. They sample less, right? But they're missing. And it sounds corny. I'm not saying you have to be Quincy Jones, but they're missing the elements that make certain songs and instrumentals, orchestra music, things that make it all work together.
They fill it up. Yeah. They don't understand music theory, bro, and they don't understand how to produce. But I can't really be mad at them, bro, because you know what it is now? We in the era of the bedroom producer. Look, I'm in my crib. I can make something right now. So it's like people... There's no artist development.
No composition.
Everybody's learning as they're going. So if you don't, take the time to get your music theory up and learn how to produce, and we all know in popular music, less is more. It's all on how you put sounds together. You know what I'm saying?
You look at these kids, when you take even when, and like this is what I said, man, this is where you know that hip hop is dying. And I know it's not because of my era. But when you hear these guys, they can't freestyle anymore. When you turn off the beat and you hear their song,
trashy.
It sounds terrible.
Right,
Nas made that song. What was that song that Nas made? The one lay hip hop lay.
Oh yeah, hip hop is dead. Right?
Hip hop is called hip hop. There's a one with there's a woman that has a beat and there's one that's a cappella, and they both sound fire. They both sound fire, bro. Like, I feel sorry for this generation because it's like a lot of the young kids now, they started when you don't put it as generations versus generation and you actually play them some of these songs, like you can look on YouTube and they have reaction videos and stuff for some of these young kids listen to it. Like you could see it in their eyes, something like
they're like, I was being robbed.
Yeah, like damn, y'all made music like this.
I ain't gonna lie, Gilmore. It's like, for example, I always say Rick Ross Productions always fire. Rick Ross has
great production.
Or another dude I say, even though he ain't really had that like classic album, his production's always crazy. Dave East always got crazy.
Well, like this, I'll give Dave East reprieve for Godfather Part 4. I ain't gonna talk trash about Dave East for at least 6 months.
The production on that album is dope though.
Mm-hmm.
I'll listen. Tim, I have not listened to the rest of that.
He cannot show up. Yo, Sim, he could not show up lyrically, but it's like they just keep shooting hot beats at him.
The beats are crazy on that album. The beats are nuts on that album.
Yeah, I made those, by the way, too. Holla at your boy.
The beats on the album is crazy.
Get at me, fellas. I know y'all rap in the chat room.
Yeah,
I work with you, too. I give you 3 leases for 25.
But Davies is like, I don't know if Davies is really wants to be I gotta put it. I wouldn't say he shouldn't be a rapper. He could do whatever the hell he wants, but it's like I just don't feel it with him. There's certain guys where it's like, all right, he was meant to rap. Like he should just do nothing else. But Coogee raps, the Nas, Rakims, the Jay, you could feel it. Like even now, Freddie Gibbs, Rock Marcy, like, Kendrick Lamar's, you could feel, all right, he's just supposed to rap. That's his life. Davies, I feel like he's just trying to fit into something that he identifies with. He likes a lot.
Yo, bro,
idolizes rappers,
you know what Davies like?
but he's not that.
Yeah, bro, you know what Davies like he should be doing? He should be selling me my OZs every Friday and shit. That's what he look like. But go ahead.
I think he even tries to, because Davies looks like he should be a model. Let's be honest. Like, Davies puts all these tattoos, look hard. If you took him off, he'd be with ASAP Rocky wearing Ferragamos and bathrobes with old white men telling him how to pose. And ASAP Rocky, another overrated rapper. Oh my gosh, I can't even.
Yo, remember Dame Dash? He said, they would tell niggas how to be niggas.
Very true. Very, very true, man. Very true. But Davies, I'll give him, look, Godfather Part 4, 6 months. After that, I'm going back to criticize Davies, man. But actually, I just did it right now, but whatever.
Yeah, I know. You just did it.
Yo, Sim, you know what's going to happen, Sim, right? Yo, Sim, when the Knicks finally win the championship, Gilmore going to be like, yeah, we swept them, but
exactly. I know.
Bro,
exactly.
If the Knicks sniff 45 wins anytime soon, I'm throwing a parade, man. Don't even try yourself, bro.
And it's still gonna come with a caveat.
We all said, first of all, because look, Sim,
still gonna come with a caveat.
If I don't see the ring,
we won the championship. But still,
I'm like
Julius Randle was holding the ball.
I'm like Thanos. Okay, I got one gem. I'm not happy. I need more.
Kareem, look, this is Guillermo. Yeah, we won the championship. But Julius Randle was holding the ball so long on that last shot. He could have got it over there. The Frank Ntilikina was wide open.
He the Finals MVP too.
This is what I dislike about Sim. I gave Julius Randle props for the past 2 games. I didn't even say anything.
You was like, we can't be giving him credit for 3 games. I saw you in the comment section.
First of all, I didn't say that. I never even said that. I gave Julius Randle props. I said, yo, he's doing his thing. It was Mark the other game when we lost, and I said, Julius Randle actually passing the ball, give up quicker. Mark was going crazy as usual.
Yo,
I give credit where credit is due, but I grew up in the 90s, Sim. We were going to the playoffs like it was a Jordan Sparks matchup was mandatory. I need that. You can't give me the good stuff, and then now you're just just take the no frills crap. That's good enough.
With it.
Yo, Sim,
no.
Yo, Sim, you know what I just thought about? You know what you should do?
What's that?
Make a Who's Mark compilation with him blowing his top. It's like
that would make a lot of views, bro.
Yeah, well,
that would give you a lot of views, man.
Yeah,
hey, look,
especially when like your first year, he was Mark. Where's that?
And remember, Sim, the entertainer went viral with his New York the Giants drafting. If you could do, and now ESPN loves to kill the Knicks. It would have been better if you did it during the Fizzo time. But if you could have drawn up a compilation of Mark screaming. And talk about KP, I'm pretty sure that probably would have been viral. You gotta do something. Just talk to Mark. Mark will understand. It's fine, and it's your content anyway. So just
put that Mark together, is all for it. Trust me, Mark will be all for it. Mark will be all for it. But yo, fellas, I'm gonna get up out of here, man.
Stim, what you got planned for the new year, man? I bought my bottle of Henny.
Well, I mean, since we I don't know, we chilling. Me and my wife, we chilling.
I'm about to order all the food. I'm about to get fat. I'm about to be ashamed of myself at the end of the night. My audio, you know the cheesecake samplers at the store they be selling. About to get the big one. I'm gonna get some chocolate Cool Whip.
Yo, guys, salute. I'm out. I'll see you. Happy New Year to everybody. God bless all y'all. Be safe. Have fun. Take care.
Yes, sir.
No doubt, man. I'm out of here. Me, son. And I'm since we talk about Hey, but Kareem, if you got some music, man, you just send me it, man. But I'm gonna end this out with a song.
I just want to ask you, whenever you could do, that show or whatever. Yeah, man, because I did an EP last year. I got a lot of positive feedback. I produced the whole thing.
Yeah, man.
Because me and my friend, and I'm 32. My friend is in his 40s. So you see that dynamic in the music as well. And actually, it took a lot of that was the first time I had to really compromise and please the both of us because of that age difference.
Yeah, no doubt. But yo,
You know,
I'm gonna
even
take
though I
it.
got bars though. But yeah, Happy New Year, Sam.
Yeah, Happy New Year's, man. I'm gonna take us out of here with a song from one of these kids I work with. His name is CEO,
definitely.
and the song is called Stereotype, and it's got this girl on it named Tay, and she can blow.
All right, definitely, Sam.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out.
I'm addicted to my money, clothes, and cars. 'Cause we all wanna be superstars. Standing on the corner just to make my dough. Stardom is a place I know.
We just give them what they like, we walking in they trap. I know it's hard to do right when you young and you black. Fast cars and bad bras, I'm addicted to rap and all the things I can get when I'm whipping the crack. Cause that's all that you know when your surroundings is trifling. Don't matter if you're black, brown, or you're light skin. At the end of the day, a nigga to the white man. Modern day slavery, they stereotyping. If you lay down, you stay down. Life's not a playground, so no need to play around. That's a fact. And why it's hard to get a job when you young and black, but everybody on the streets could get a gun and crack. Hey, that's some deep shit. Niggas will grab the heat quick. A father killed a brother cause his daughter who he sleep with. Little did he know that his daughter keep a secret. She's 17 and pregnant, talking about she gon' keep it. She was supposed to go to college, be a young black queen. Now she's stripping for some cash on somebody rap screen. Baby father on the corner selling dope to crack fiends. She crying every night, hoping it's a bad dream. She don't wake up, she try and get a cake up. Her baby father break up, and he ain't trying to make up. Damn, now she stuck on her own. Raise a young black king in a broken ass home.
I'm addicted to my money, clothes, and cars. 'Cause we all wanna be superstars. Standing on the corner just to make my dough. Stardom is a place I know.
We just give them what they like, we walking in they trap. I know it's hard to do right when you young and you black. Fast cars and bad bras, I'm addicted to rap and all the things I can get when I'm whipping the crack. Cause that's all that you know when your surroundings is trifling. Don't matter if you're black, brown, or you're light skin. At the end of the day, a nigga to the white man. Modern day slavery, they stereotyping. I ain't racist, I'm half white and got white friends. I'm just curious why they ain't nervously driving. This some shit that a nigga can't get high. Fit a carjacking description and I'm just riding. Crooked cops always look a lot. They set you up and get away if you looking hot. I knew this nigga that slang. Around where I hang, I dap him up in the fence, thought I took a rock. They kicked my mama dope, then threw her on the floor. Buzz holes in the wall, said adios. Didn't protect or serve, nobody got a waiter just to stay the sign. Hated, they ain't even compensated. Now we deep in debt, try and be correct. Started helping on the bills before I seen a check. Now I'm posted on the corner with a Glock and some grams, and they probably don't know my face, but I'm part of their plans.